So now Session 63, Cold Lands, Hope and Despair. Gang's all here. Everybody here except for Corn. Corn's the only one that couldn't make it tonight, so we'll make do without him. And I realized listening to the last audio recording I had of this that at one point I brought in like the old folks from the Swift Sparrow that Corn knew from way back, but it was while he was away from keyboard. And I never did bring him back in, so try to remember, guys, next time he's here, if he's still in this town when he joins us, I'll bring his old friends back in to introduce him again, because that might be interesting. All right, so last session, you guys were in the town of Mucklestone still. We wrapped up the whole thing with Corn and his mystery guy, and not Corn, with Silith. And Silith, I sent you the information as far as the guy's name and the girl's name and all that, correct?
I'll have to link back in my email, double check that. I thought you did, but I'd have to.
Okay, so that's going to be, you can find that at your leisure, but that's going to be information that you have that maybe Tolman would have overheard during your conversation. Just at the time, I was totally unprepared with your throw me a left curve there, so now I've got a name and I've got the girl's name and where she works and everything, so you got all the information of, I think it pertains to that.
Joe.
Yeah, her name is Joe, yeah. So, start of last session, you guys headed back down to the, I guess the open market, so to speak. You guys went to the magic shop. You guys found a few things there. You guys should have had all those in your character sheet by now. From there, you guys headed down to the herbal shop, and you guys found a few things there. And there were a few things also that the shop owner, Koban, said you guys have to come back tomorrow. He was going to have to work on them tonight to procure some of the stuff. I think there was a couple antitoxins. I think there was a potion of fire breath. And I think there was one other thing for Corn that he had to kind of work on. So those will be ready for you guys in the morning. From there, you guys somewhat split up. Silith headed south of town to some of the construct shops. The rest of you guys headed over towards the keep. The construct shops, Silith found, correct me if I'm wrong, Silith, I think you got some night vision goggles and some kind of a clockwork spider, as I recall.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yep,
okay.
That is correct.
Well, the rest of you went into the keep. You guys met with Cudwar. He's kind of like the overseer of Mucklestones, also a druid. Met with him. You met with Jodell. Diddy went downstairs with Cudwar into the, I guess, the laboratory where they were building the Gemcore extractor. And Diddy did kind of his little sensing thing to basically put a marker on those things if they should ever get stolen or misplaced or whatever. Does that sound right, Diddy?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Okay. While the rest of you guys were upstairs kind of talking to Jodell about next steps. He kind of explained to you guys about where you're going to next. I believe he shared with you guys that he's got a guide coming to help you guys into Limbo, name of Brevin Lyodon. He's a wood elf protector of the Circle of Leth. Not in town yet, but he expects him within a day or so. Also during that conversation, I think Usul and Sylvia wanted to have a private conversation with Jodell and Cudwar, and you guys headed upstairs, top of the keep, to kind of talk a little more in depth about what was potentially going on with Corn and his blue veins. And I think you also wanted to talk to, correct me if I'm wrong, Usul, about the visions that Corn had and whether or not those could or could not have been the tree that you've been looking for. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
Okay.
Kind of stinks that Corn's not here to hear it, but
okay.
We'll have to update him next.
Okay, no worries. Part of that conversation was also trying to figure out if there's a way to prevent any future scrying upon the group, to which I think Cudwar and Jodell shared a couple suggestions of things that could do that, just nothing was permanent to basically block the scrying and blocking the little dogs from attacking your ankles. I think I just heard a little dog there.
Yeah, like dog.
Attack hounds.
So they were going to do a little more research to kind of see if there's anything else they could do for that. And then they all headed back downstairs right when Scylla showed up with the group. Is there anything else there important that I missed, do you guys think?
I was just trying to get in contact with my spirit guide to find out a little more about what's happening in the astral plane and chaos planes and all that sort of stuff.
Correct. And that'll happen during your next long rest, next time you take basically a long sleep. Correct?
Yeah, sounds.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm lucky.
Right. Okay. Anything else that I missed that you guys were involved with?
Nothing off the top of my head.
If I don't think so, let me just do a quick peruse through my notes, see if there's anything else that jumps out at me. They told you the Gem Core extractor probably has maybe another day. Depends on whether or not the little tink that Diddy did while he was checking out the parts damaged it or not. Diddy also did a divine sense, I think, both down in the laboratory and then back upstairs. You didn't pick up anything from that.
Yep. There's no demons or fiends down there.
Right. Sorry, just looking through my notes here real quick.
Or mischievous celestials.
You guys also did I think it was a group kind of arcana or history check on when Diddy took a sample of Quarren's blood and tried to detect whether that was celestial or undead or something else. I think there was a third thing in there. And
there was a bit.
Yeah, Diddy came back with a reading of a little bit of both celestial and undead in the blood, and that kind of had everybody a little bit perplexed as to what the hell that meant, which led to, I think Dr. P is the one that ran sorry, Professor P. Keep me on my toes tonight, Rand. Professor P is what he wants to go by now. I think he's the one that recalled from some of his studies the whole lore behind the Immortal Caverns and how the things that were in there were basically destroyed and liquefied, and so technically they were undead, but there was something that kept them alive, kept them kicking, so it may have something to do with this whole mixture of celestial and undead. Not really sure. And that's where we left off with the group. So let me switch the map back over to where you guys left off and leave it up to you guys. Alright guys, so what would you like to do here?
Well, Silas has just stumbled into this, so he's not really sure. He's not all caught up on what's going on.
I think you were there while Diddy was doing this whole blood testing. It was before Usul and Sylvia came down. You were with the group before they came down, just for a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't really know what all the discussions are, so I'm just going to sit tight.
Okay. Alright, so Kudwar and Jodel are going to come walking down with Usul and Sylvia. They'll kind of be looking over at Usul and look back over at Quarren as well. Now, I'll leave it up to you guys out of character whether or not you want to wait and have this conversation when Quarren, the player, is actually here, or if you want me to kind of ad-lib for him. I'm good either way. You guys let me know.
It might be good to ad-lib, because otherwise we'll block it. Is he going to be at the next one?
I hope so. I never can tell.
What do you guys reckon?
Ad-lib as well.
No, I can speak for him. I just probably may not go into all the details and stuff like he may, but I'll just give you kind of the cliff notes of what he knows and how he would react.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I got a couple of pictures to show you guys. If it's all right, I'll put them in Discord.
Is this has to do with the story, or is this something totally unrelated? I'm a little scared.
It's all part of the story.
Okay, all right. Okay. So how are you, I guess, portraying these pictures or symbols to the group here? I mean, we can see it in Discord, but how's this happening in character?
I would be pull out that's supposed to be an amulet. I'd like pull it out of my from underneath my shirt and whatnot, and show it to everybody as I get down at the bottom of the stairs. So as I come down, I'm going to tell everybody, Quarren especially, about my background, how I am part of a cult church clan that worships the Yggdrasil tree. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but it's part of Norse mythology.
Tree of life. Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
Diddy says it's the tree of life, Yggdrasil, but it's across the different planes.
That's correct, and it may actually work its way into the story here. But my lifelong mission is to collect a seed pod from another Yggdrasil tree, so that I could bring it back and make another tree. Anyways.
So it's gonna look a little bit confused at this. Like, so there's more than one tree of life?
Well, and that's the issue is I don't know if there is another tree of life, but the tree in Quarren's dream sounded like it looks exactly like the Yggdrasil tree. So it's possible that I may be able to collect a seed pod from this other dimension and bring it back. But it just throws up a lot of unknowns, I guess.
So you spent your entire life looking for a tree.
A seed pod. Well, I'm pretty young. I'm an elf, and I'm only like 50 or 100. I can't remember.
Probably close to
That
150
young and
as a
can't
kid.
remember.
And the Druid Jodel will also chime in, basically saying that although he's never seen this fabled tree, he has heard stories of it and stuff from his elders as well. I think he probably would have shared with you already, Usul. If not, I mean, he's basically saying that he's not sure if there are multiple trees of this, or if all the trees themselves are somehow intertwined with each other. Again, he's never seen one to himself, but just based on some of the vagueness of the lore, just wonders if it's not one tree. It's actually, it could be hundreds or thousands of trees, but they're all somehow, tied to each other,
linked interdimensionally.
Right.
Yeah, and if you look, I just put a sketch of the Yggdrasil tree. But if you think about it as being on the other side or another plane, the motto or our mantra is as above, so below. And I always thought that meant that the tree was mirrored underground. But I suspect now that it's completely different. If you look at my sketch there,
Okay.
it may very well be something along like that. And then you could have more sticking out on either side. So I suspect that this tree is the same, in other dimensions. But I don't necessarily trust whether they're dreams or what they are. So I'm very hesitant, but it does add up.
Yeah, it's been my experience dealing with one dimension at a time is enough.
So help me, just to clarify, guys. I can remember last session. Did you guys ever determine what the greenish humanoids that Quarren had in his vision, what those guys were?
I believe everyone believed. Silith said, what did I say they were again?
Yeah, some kind of elemental, I think, right?
Elementals, yeah.
Yep, and everyone believed me.
Okay.
Because I was very, very convincing. I failed the history check, but I totally aced the
bullshit roll.
The bullshit roll.
Yeah.
Right.
So completely convinced they're elementals.
Okay. I just can't remember if anyone else ever brought up the other race or not. That's fine.
I'll say to them, I'll just I'll wait for some confirmation, hopefully tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But if you're taking a pod from the Tree of Life, it depends on. I would expect it depends on which area you take it from. So if the Tree of Life goes across all the different planes, and where above and below might mean it just grows, both above and below, then if you bring a tree like a seed from the plane of chaos, would that not breed a chaos tree here? And if you took it from heaven, it would breed more good. But I don't know how that affects the one tree, because I think if my legends are right, there is only one. and having multiple might cause like an alternate reality, which might not be good.
It does bring up more questions than it answers. But until we actually come across this tree, I'm not. I won't believe that it actually exists.
Oh, I'll just turn around and.
If you plant it, you might create a whole other dimension. That we got enough of those to deal with as is.
Is it daytime or nighttime at the moment?
It's around noon, so daytime.
Yeah, because we slept till the morning, and then we had. I think it was
and if we're going to keep talking like this, I'm going to need a pint of beer.
Yeah, you probably will need a pint. I'll say, but the leaves are still of the stars, and you can see it better at night if you want to actually see the tree. I can show it to you, but it's a concept. It's the tree itself, like the gods live in it. It's like the football field that if the gods were players, it's the field that they play on. So I'd be worried about trying to do anything that would affect the tree.
What's football?
It's a game. I'll just say any sort of game that you play. But let's see. What's a good one?
The seed pod in my quest is not of concern.
But who gave you the quest? Is there anything wrong with the tree, as it is?
My quest is my own.
Oh, but you want us to help you.
Now that Quarren will kind of chime in as well. Says, "Hold on, guys. I'm the one that had the vision, and you let's talk about interdimensional crap. What I saw was the Immortal Caverns. It wasn't on another dimension. So what the hell's that got to do with me?"
The last time you were on the Immortal Caverns, almost everybody died. Right?
And Quarren will kind of shrug.
That was one trip I was glad I wasn't on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Glad I wasn't there, but he's talking like he wants to go back.
Well, maybe a part of the tree gave him his life back. It is the tree of life, and he came through the tree, and hence he was brought back. But my concern more is that the original tree itself's got something wrong with it, and that's something to do with what the Slaath are doing. They might be corrupting it in some way, shape, or form. And maybe that's what.
What if there's a portal inside the Immortal Cavern that's giving off the energy that created the ice thing, and that portal is somehow linked to this tree? Maybe a root or a branch that goes into our dimension or our plane.
Yep, Pebblestone. Where's the closest pub? We're gonna need a few pints.
Here.
Norman's rubbing his chin with one hand and scratching Rufus behind the ears with the other. He goes, "Well, what if the tree's sick, and that's what's allowing these doors to the dimensions opening for the Slaath to come through?"
Or maybe they're making it sick because they are chaotic creatures.
Hey, I'm not one to judge anybody's quest, and I'll be happy to help out where it's needed, but it just, it's definitely concerning if it's the tree of life.
So, Usul, you've got to get the pod, and you've got to give the seed. The person you're going to give it to, are you 100% sure that they aren't going to be detrimental in any way, shape, or form?
My plan. This is a ongoing quest for us for thousands of years.
But you should always question the motive behind the originator. I mean, there are celestials that have been known to fall, and even if I made a deal with one to do something good, and one day, Lord's forbid that it ever happened, and it fell, I would have to reevaluate whether or not what it was asking was good or bad. The same thing, sometimes things get lost in history, and then they get, as you said, it's part of a cult. They could have changed it again and again. I think you need to get back to the root of the matter and find out.
Nicely done.
Yeah, well, what you need. I mean, I'm an Ancients paladin. I you're talking about one of the very core foundations of my belief is the tree. So I am. If you're saving the tree and saving life and saving nature, it's fantastic, and it's a great thing to do. But it'd be good to know so we can all help you. What are we saving it from, and how are we going to save it?
My quest is to get a seed pod so that I can bring it back, and the tree can start anew or have another offspring. When I left the tree a few years ago, the tree has been healthy and just fine. There's been no warnings, no issues.
Wow. So you actually know where the tree is?
It is my home. It's where I grew up.
Holy mackerel. Well, that makes you very blessed. I've never seen it. Not really, not the physical thing. And maybe we shouldn't. So anything else that you've got besides you're going to give birth to a new Yggdrasil? I would think you would only do that if you were worried that the old one was going to die.
I shall ponder these questions. This is all new, and the revelation is that there's another tree in another dimension. I've still not come to terms with that, but I will ponder your statements.
Yeah, well, the legend is that the tree, as we were sort of alluding, goes through all of the different places. Its roots go to hell, its roots go to the abyss, its roots go to limbo, chaos, all of the different realms, everywhere. Because there's life, be it perverted in some areas and beautiful in others, or just unusual. But it is life. So wherever there's life, there's that tree. So by creating a new tree, you're creating a new heaven, earth, and hell. And it's like world changing. So unless the tree is just to take over the job, and it happens every so often, well, I wouldn't think any often that I know about, but you're talking millennia, that a new tree comes into existence that takes over because something's not well.
And that's when Joe Dell will kind of chime in there as well. So Diddy brings up a good point, Usul. Says, I know you've been sent on this quest by your elders of your clan. Is it because your current Yggdrasil tree is dying and this is to replace it? Or is it to add another branch or another avenue, another way through this tree of life?
That's a good question, but it'll have to wait until I go back to my clan. When I left, as they usually do, they send off the wildest of the new members or of each generation on this quest, and that was me. I was the wildest of my generation. I certainly wasn't old enough to question my elders. I just found my way out, and they gave that to me with this quest.
Okay.
What it means at the end, I don't know.
Sil's gonna look at the school and be like, so you've been sent to find a tree, you don't know where, you don't know why, and you need help.
That's correct. But I do also know what it looks like.
Sil's just gonna point outside, does it look like any of those trees out there?
If you saw it, you would know it. It looks like no other tree.
So it's gonna be like every tree looks like every other tree. He's gonna roll his eyes and be like, maybe we could just pray.
They're very distinct. The leaves are different, the bark is different, trees are very different.
You know what? He's gonna look down at Twig and be like, all gnomes are the same too.
Hey.
All right, here's what I want. Anyone that has somewhat of a A nature background, by that I mean either you worship Sylvanus or Maleki or Shantae, or you're like a druid or a ranger. Give me a history check.
History or
Does
nature?
Ancient's Paladin help?
Yeah, it'll roll it with advantage, or give me two
Okay.
rolls for each one of you guys that have that kind of a background, and then I'll make a call from that. Yeah, whisper them to me if you would, please.
Coming up.
You need it from me too, Brian.
Yes.
And you said history, not nature, correct?
History.
Natural 20. Stick for it.
Just know that in there. I gotta find the character.
Okay, so just so I know, everyone's whispering to me. So I got one from Toman, one from Twig, and one from Usul. Still waiting for Diddy. Anyone else going to give me one that has that kind of a background?
No.
I should get Toman. Aren't you part ranger?
Correct. That's why I gave you a roll.
Oh yeah, I said that. Sorry.
No worries. It's Friday. I completely understand.
Okay, so that's everybody then, right? I got 4 rolls. Casilith, you don't worship any of those people, right?
I do not. I worship Timora.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if I get real lucky.
Nope. If you don't have that kind of background, I'm not gonna have you roll. All right. So Twig, I'm gonna move you into GM Whispers for a second. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so you didn't roll great, but you have this inkling. Sorry, you hear me okay?
Yeah, hey, fine.
Okay. You have this inkling about there's some kind of history behind this tree to where you recall some kind of a story that had to do with the tree and someone trying to use it for their own gain. It's probably been, 200-300 years ago that this happened, where it was for their own gain. So
Right.
there's something, if someone is able to find this tree or find a link to it, that there's some method or way to potentially make that person all powerful or godlike or something like that. But the detail is a little bit fuzzy with that roll. But that's what
Right,
you
yeah.
get
I
out of
just
that.
seem to remember something in history about the tree being misused and
Correct.
didn't work out right
Right.
for the rest. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, I'll move you back.
Hmm.
Okay, and we're back. So the rest of you guys, it didn't come to you.
Twig just kind of looks thoughtful and kind of scratches Buttercup behind the ear and looks at Usul and looks around the group. And goes, Okay.
Ooh. Oh, shit. Okay.
So does anybody remember anything about the tree? I can't remember. I think I was.
I think it's a tree.
Yep.
There's a bunch outside. Could be one of them.
I don't think it's one of them.
Everybody give me a perception check.
I like these.
Yeah, Usul normally does.
Am I the only one that's rolling publicly? Maybe I should switch to GM.
That's 1, 2,
With those
3,
rolls,
4,
it might
5.
not be a bad idea.
It's like I'm still waiting for 2 more perception checks. This is everybody, guys.
Oh, everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
Quarren's not here.
2 GM. Perception.
Okay.
Easiest thing, guys,
Guys.
is turn your whole sheet to roll a GM. So you can
Alright.
bug Brian all night.
Wow, Usul, that was actually a shitty roll for you. But I'm gonna move Usul and Toman into private chat.
It really
Okay.
was.
His shitty roll beats my roll. Great.
All right, guys, you hear me okay?
Roger.
Okay, you guys will both notice, very subtle, but you see both Usul and, not Usul, both Jodel and Cudwar kind of exchange a knowing look. Like, they know something that they're not sharing with everybody else. Okay? That's what your perception check did.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, switch you back.
Get power this year.
Alright. So yes, Usul's shitty roll was still better than, like, most of you guys.
Usul sees all. He doesn't know what it is, but he sees it.
Well,
So Cudwar is gonna chime in. So, okay, folks, do you guys need anything else from me? If not, I'm gonna head back downstairs and continue to kind of oversee the construction of this gem core extractor.
So Cudwar's like the big.
I was wondering, do you have something you'd like to add to this conversation? You seem to notice something, and I saw the look that you shared with Jodel there. You know something that you'd like to share with us?
I'm just listening to the story, you guys, and what's to come next, and talk of this tree. I admit I haven't heard much about this tree, but I'm just kind of curious what this tree's got to do with this whole thing.
we are all risking our lives here. Tell us what you know.
You gonna try to roll me an intimidation? Is that what you're trying to do there, Usul?
I could try.
It sounds somewhat threatening.
I'll try and persuade him. I'll sort of say, I think all of us hold too many secrets sometimes, and it's always best that we share, especially with important things.
So Silas been sitting.
I'm going to chime in right behind Diddy, saying we're all in this together. If you're not going to share with us, maybe we're on the wrong path here. Throwing my persuasion in there.
Cudwar's going to raise his hands up. Okay, what's all this accusing stuff? I've just invited you guys into my home. I brought this paladin downstairs to look at our secret construction of this very unique artifact, and now I'm getting questioned as to my loyalty to the cause.
No,
I think they're just overly suspicious, Cudwar.
Well, I think there's a lot going on. If everyone can share, I think we've been finding a few of us have been walking away to talk about others without them being there, and possibly for safety's sake. But I think it's now time that we all talk together. Of course, there's always a chance that we could be getting scryed on by the bad guys. But I think by
growing up, I eat the last piece of bread. Wow, I feel a lot better. Everyone else is really hungry.
Okay.
So that's what Diddy will say. So there's always going to be the chance that something can scry on us, and there's nothing permanent we can do to stop that. But I think if we know what each other knows, then there's the possibility we'll be better armed ourselves, because if they scry on us, they get to have the advantage of knowing all about all of us anyway, but we're not sharing what we know amongst ourselves. That's probably harmful. And it's a friend.
Definitely.
I'll be more than happy to share.
What you got?
Actually climbs up on the back of Buttercup.
So now he's about normal
eye
height.
level with the rest of you. Okay. This tree, several hundred years ago, an attempt was made to misuse the tree in a way that benefited a single entity. And the result was a near catastrophe. So what Usul is doing is questionable, not because of what he personally is doing, but his quest could be dangerous to all of us.
Oh, for sure.
Not all of us. I don't mean just this group of people. I mean all the planes.
Who was the person who was tinkering? Was it a god or was it a person? Who was the one that stuffed it up hundreds of years ago?
The histories that I know are vague and old. They were passed down from word of mouth to word of mouth, and that unfortunately was lost. But it wasn't good.
Now he's given us a jolt. Can any of us remember the rest of that story? Like who that person might have been?
Well, at this, you hear a loud sigh kind of come out of Cudwar as he kind of looks over to Jodell. He says, all right, just so that everyone knows I'm on the up and up, and I'm not trying to keep any secrets. What your twig here is telling you guys is true. There was an attempt years ago by a mortal being to benefit for personal gain by using the Aegisil tree. Now, I don't want to go into more details about what exactly that person did to potentially gain that benefit for obvious reasons. That's a very well-kept secret of what it takes to do that, and I don't want that kind of knowledge being out, no offense to anyone, because of the potential ramifications from that. But yes, there was once a mortal a few years, eons ago, that tried to take advantage of this.
Okay. And that made the tree sick?
It didn't make the tree sick. It potentially made that person all-powerful.
Veggies? Eat your veggies? Eat your veggies?
Yes, dear.
Oh, wife gave me some my carrot sticks. How good is that?
There's a street vendor right outside the keep selling veggies.
Veggies? Yeah, I better have it.
Anybody want some?
So somebody's trying to become more powerful. Well, you can't really blame them for that. But do we know? And it's probably somebody who is of our ilk. Unfortunately, some sort of nature person who's going a bit beyond. So, Cudwar, do you think the name of the creature who did it is a problem to tell us, or the person? I would call it a creature because only a creature would be stupid enough to do such a thing.
The name of the creature.
Well, the name of the person who did it. Yeah, the person then.
It was a humanoid.
So it's gonna stare with beady eyes at Cudwar and just whisper under his breath, "It was."
Who?
It was what?
That was a very good whisper.
Yeah, because I didn't hear it.
Good.
Okay. So Cudwar will kind of look at Jodell. It's almost like looking for his blessing to go ahead and share. And he'll kind of reach in and kind of lean in to the group, like whispering, saying it loud. So it was not a creature. It was a drow.
Same difference.
So it's gonna lean forward and point his finger at Cudwar. I knew it. It was a drow.
Is this particular drow in question a spider?
No, she was
Spider
not
lady?
she was not a spider. Some would say she was against Loth. She was for a while, but she was corrupted. Some could say, just drawn to the power of the Aegisil tree for personal gain.
And like us, was she a druid or a druidic powers, or was she completely off the chart? Like, was it out of nowhere?
Well, being a drow, she had certain innate magical abilities. So I wouldn't say she was a druid per se, but she had magical powers.
And as far as being off the chart, she was messing with the tree of life. I call her off the chart for that.
Yeah, and it's weird that it would even let her that way.
That was cool.
What the heck?
Something's repeating. Oh,
Sylvia.
Oh, sorry, guys.
We are in Echo Canyon now. Oh, we're out. Good.
it's my vegetables. I'm sorry.
Okay, so where were we? What was the question?
Yeah, so, well, if it's a drow, the bizarre thing is that Yggdrasil's intelligent, I would think, and let that woman get that close. So, yeah, that's bizarre. She must have had something with her that allowed her to touch the tree or get that close to get to it. I mean, I thought it was more... The tree itself is like a mythical thing. Like, it's the connection of all life between all the different planes. It's a concept, not a thing, but... From what Usul is telling us, it's a thing. It's an actual tree. I didn't know that.
Don't you realize that all myths have a basis in fact?
But I would think something so powerful would just be life itself. So, and the leaves are the stars, and the roots are the the things in the cosmos that you see. But it's very simple. It's an actual thing.
So he will actually share the name. I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head as a DM. So, not now, the name of the drow that did this.
Oh.
That tried to do this, so to speak. So, I gotta go back and find my source.
Jane.
Yeah, Jane. Yeah, that's it. So anyone wants to do a history check, it's going to be a very high DC for this, with the exception of probably Diddy and Usul. If you want to try to recall.
So what are we rolling?
History, again.
I'm real good at this. No, I'm not.
I'll see if someone can give me an assistance if they've got any idea. I'm proficient in history, but that doesn't mean anything. Do you want me to assist you, Usul?
There's no assistant with history. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to recall. No, that's on your own personal thing.
All right. I'll try and remember.
Hey, so I may need your help on this one, because I'm trying to find the notes that you sent me, if you recall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have them right here if you'd like.
Hey, you sent it to me in email, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Let's go to find it real quick.
Brian, I beg to differ. I think they made a whole movie about helping with history checks. I think it was called Dude, Where's My Car?
Well, you guys have not yet harnessed the power of plane jumping.
Time travel.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different movie. That's A Wrinkle in Time.
All right, Don. How long ago did you send that to me?
I'm looking for it right now, and I'll tell you exactly when.
Sorry, guys. I just gotta find my notes before I just make up shit on the fly. Which happens a lot.
That'll be Friday, October 26th at 6:40 p.m.
You mean DMs don't just make it up on the fly? I've been doing this wrong the whole time.
Yeah, about 80% of it is, yes. Alright, got a couple of them from you on that night, so. What was the title of the email, John? Sorry, guys.
Oh, it was a response to yours. Gem Core extractor parts.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
All right, if you got it open, I may have you check myself as I start to explain this to everybody, depending on what they rolled. Let me go back to here and see what you guys rolled. All right, so Diddy got an 18.
Better than a 2.
Usul, what did you roll?
Which one?
The history check.
13.
I don't see you in there. I don't mean the one from earlier.
It's like, I'm a 13.
Oh, do I have to... I did one earlier. Do I need another one?
This is for this one, because he's going to share the name of her. I'm going to see if that triggers anything.
History check?
Yeah.
History.
God dang. Rand?
That's a good one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But unfortunately, you have it at disadvantage, so give me one more roll.
To be fair, you got to subtract 4 from both of those because, well, I mean, nat 20 obviously doesn't count because it's disadvantage. But you got to subtract 4 because it's not related to magical, technological, or alchemical items.
Okay. So Professor P. Twigs at disadvantage. Did you roll to 18? And Usul doesn't know shit. Alright, so let me move. Usul, I'm going to move you in here just so you can correct me what I'm about to tell them since you have it in front of them. So I'm going to move Usul, Professor P, and Diddy into private chat.
Lots of private chat going on lately.
Yep.
Yeah. Whispers. Lots of whispers.
Usul, Diddy. And not Silith. Who'd I say?
Yeah.
Not you, Silith.
Professor P.
Yeah, I know. You
Diddy
moved me
and
down
Professor
there.
P. Okay.
Ah, there we go.
Alright. There we go. I had to move Silith out of there because he's being all sneaky, Mr. McSneaky. Alright, so I'm still looking for the chick's actual name in her somewhere, but there was a drow that basically, and correct me if I get any of this wrong here, Don, she basically rebelled somewhat from her drow origins and came to the surface world. She actually paired up with a I guess, rebellious barbarian actually for a while. But I believe her sole purpose of wanting to find this tree and then carve, I think it's her name. Was it her name or a rune that represents her name is what I recall? Is so that she could maintain her drow powers on the surface. Because drow that come to the surface eventually lose their magical abilities being in the sunlight. So she was trying to somehow harness the power of this Igiso tree by carving her name into it and then somehow bestowing some of the powers off of that to basically make her all-powerful, kind of borderline of like a deity. But her sole purpose was to not lose her magic, and I think also part of it was also to help her friend and lover, this crazy barbarian guy, control his rage. With those rolls, you guys would know that the barbarian was basically killed during a battle, and she survived, but I don't know if she actually, you guys won't know, I don't think it says it in the history here, if she actually succeeded in putting her name into the tree. Does that all sound right, Don? Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm here.
Don, you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking and I forgot to push the button. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Did I miss anything important there that you saw?
No. Her name was Lariel Bonry.
Henry.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how if you go by the original pronunciation or you go by the audible books.
Okay.
I'll say, wait a minute. You're talking about one of the high Mesobaranzian houses. She's like one of the boss ladies. Oh well, she's from that family.
Yeah, she was one of the daughters.
Ah.
Well, high up
if you know where the tree is, can't you just erase a name? Like say sorry to the tree first. Get your pocket knife out.
Okay,
and,
so hold on. Is this a conversation you're gonna have with everybody, or what are you doing with this, Diddy?
Oh yeah. He'll just he'll say.
Because the whisper is only to tell you guys what you know. So if you want to share this with everybody else, I'll move you guys back into main play.
Oh no. Okay.
To the main.
That makes sense?
Should we go to the main?
Okay, yes. I'm gonna move you guys back.
Okay.
Everything goes through that part of the house, so we started calling it the flow room.
Okay,
yeah,
we're back.
Coming back.
Okay. All right. So maybe we should find somewhere that we can sit and talk about this stuff.
I suggested to go get a pint.
The Goodly Goose is a perfect place.
Yeah, a lot of noise. Does that stop scrying? If somebody's scrying you, do they hear all the bar noise? Because I can't hear shit in a bar, so that might be good.
I like your thinking, Dinnemeyer.
Let's try that out.
You see these Slutty going, what did he say? I didn't get it.
So before we go and head off, Chilla's gonna pull Cudware aside for a second and start whispering to him.
Okay.
And want to meet me down there?
Yeah. So while you're doing that, you guys talking about someplace to go. Dr. P, you're also going to know the Goodly Goose is more of a restaurant. I guess the town watering hole where most of the gnomes go is going to be down here at the Tinkering Tankard.
Yeah, let's go there. It's just across the road.
Yep.
Nope, Tinkering Tankard's way down here. It's like right across from the keep, where you guys have to walk by it to even get to the cup and candle.
Well, that's not a problem. I'm riding the bear, so.
Okay.
And it's directly across from the keep, so.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get there.
So, Silith, is this a conversation you want to have in private whisper, or are you going to have it out in open?
No, quick little secret.
Okay. All right, guys.
Here we go again.
Careless whispers. All right, I'm here. What's up?
So, Silith's gonna be pull Cudbear in real close and lean over and be like, "Hey, so you're like the master artificer, right?"
I wouldn't call myself that, no. But
well, obviously you're pretty high up here, and he's gonna pull out the little spider trinket, and he's like, "So I picked this up. You got any way you can make this like explode?"
Make it explode?
Like no, not like now, but like I could make it explode later.
Says if you're trying to tinker with it a little bit, you might want to go to the Tinkering Academy. I'm a druid by practice. I'm not necessarily the tinkering master like you'll see somewhere else here. But
do you wanna,
go ahead.
You guys don't got any like I don't know little spells or anything you can do on it? Like it's already built, and it like he puts it down and it does its little walk away thing that it does. It's like I just want to make it like do something. He's real specific.
You want it to explode, is what I'm hearing.
Well, it could do something else. Like what could you make it do?
I could make it grow some hair. I could make it float. I could. Again, I'm a druid. I'm not a tinkerer. If you wanted to have some other kind of mechanical aspect
Cudbear
to
is
it,
a gnome, right?
He is a gnome, but he is a druid.
Silas is being really racist. Are you getting this part? Silas is being
okay,
really
now
racist.
I am. Not you're
Okay.
telling me.
Silas mean like all you gnomes. When he said earlier, all you gnomes look the same. That's part of it.
Okay, he's like, look. I can't help you make this thing blow up. No, that doesn't work that way. But if you ask around town, if you head down the Tinkering District, I'm sure someone can help you figure out how to make it do something special for you.
So it's gonna look disgruntled and like, well, you weren't much help, and he's gonna pick it up and huff away with his to follow the rest of the party.
Okay, very well. And he heads back downstairs.
Now Cudbear can have his impression of Silith because he didn't really interact with him earlier.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
No, that's it. So
Okay.
we'll look for other opportunities.
All right, let's hop back.
I think the only thing that tops that is the story my dad used to tell us of the one day when his mom was in the hospital giving birth to his brother or sister. And so his dad had to cook for them, and he decided to make fish soup. So all he did was he got a fish, threw it in a pot of water, and boiled it for a long time, and then said, "Here's dinner, kids."
Not sure what story I just walked into there,
but his brother sister did something.
Yeah, I heard that too. His brother sister had their baby or something.
No, I was saying we're talking about bad cooking, and I said the only comparable story to boiling your vegetables until they're gray is my dad told me once that when he was growing up, his mom was having one of his siblings, and so the dad was stuck at home cooking for all the kids, and he decided to make fish soup, and all he did was just basically buy a fish, throw it in a pot with water, and boil it for a whole bunch of hours.
Oh man, that's
It was not a good day for having a new kid. if you're a sibling.
All right, so
Basically,
again, bring it back in. So as you guys are all heading out towards the shit, I forgot the tankering, what I call it, tankering shit.
The Tinkering Tankard.
Tinkering Tankard and Inn. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much, you guys. You guys will see that Silith kind of goes off to the side and kind of grabs Cudbear, and in the corner he's kind of whispering back and forth a little bit, and you see this incredulous look come across Cudbear's face and kind of shrug a little bit, and they have a conversation back and forth, and Cudbear kind of still gives him a little shitty, like a, really? You're asking me that kind of question look? And they eventually kind of separate, and Silith goes back and joins the rest of you guys as Cudbear makes his way back downstairs. And Jodell kind of bids all you guys farewell and says he'll let you know whenever Brevin shows up, and he'll introduce you guys to him. Okay? So the rest of you guys are all heading over to the tinkering tankard.
Yep.
All right.
I'm riding my bear.
Twig will be happy. No, there's no dolls on the front of this one. But you guys will quickly notice as you're going up the stairs that pretty much everything here, the furniture, the doors, everything is gnome size. So those of you that are of normal humanoid got to kind of crouch a little bit to fit in there. There are a few chairs in there that are normal size, but it's more like a community chair for most gnomes. But you can find your places to sit in there if you want. And it's kind of it's not a fancy place. It's more just like a plain, Jane bar. Got a big bar across the back side of it. Several tables. Up in one corner is like a little bitty stage. There's a couple gnomes up there kind of picking on some lutes and doing some flutes and stuff. But kind of loud, kind of raucous. A lot of drinking going on. A lot of laughing. Conversation everywhere.
This is perfect.
Walks in the door. And
I agree.
Buttercup tries to follow. Does she get stuck?
Through the door?
Yes.
No, she can kind of squeeze in. I mean, her hips kind of, rub against the side. She kind of pops herself in there. A little bit of fur gets left on the door jamb there. She goes in. Most of the gnomes kind of look up a little bit. Some of them kind of curl the nose a little bit. Others just kind of wave a hand like, no big deal, whatever, come on in. But looks like Buttercup is allowed in there. So what are you guys doing?
Heaps of drinks.
I'll order 2 pints. 1 for the bear and 1 for me.
Okay. You want like to the bar? Or you're just gonna wait for like a barmaid to come around? What's your intention?
Let's wait for a barmaid to come around.
Okay. Well, first off, you gotta try to find a table big enough for all of you guys. Because again, it's pretty. Being noon, it's kind of odd how busy this place is. But you get the impression that it's kind of like a lunch break for most people. And gnomes like to drink even during a lunch break. So the bar is pretty damn busy right now.
Perfect.
As you peruse around, you can't really even see like one good-sized table where all of you guys can sit. I mean, there are some tables you could probably push together, but they're all currently kind of occupied with, not fully, but there's almost someone sitting almost every single table in here.
Is there a patch of ground?
On the outside?
No, on the inside.
No, there's no ground. I mean, there's like wood floors, if that's what you mean. There's like grass growing in here.
Yeah, no. So we'll go for some wood floor. I'll sit down and just sort of cross-legged and just wait. And if everyone wants to sit down around and we could just talk, find a sort of semi-noisy spot.
Okay. So you guys obviously, caught most of the crowd's attention and the wait staff there. And you guys will see one little female gnome, got silver hair, about shoulder length. Kind of walks up to the group of you and sees Diddy sitting there on his butt. Says, "Welcome, friend. What can I get you for this evening? Don't get too many big folk in here, but I've been getting more and more here lately. So let me serve you something up. What would you like?"
I'll count everybody and double it in pints.
Double it in pints. So she starts counting with you. So okay, so I counted. If I counted you right, there's 7 of you. Is that plus your big furry friend here? Is he drinking too?
He is.
Are you counting corn?
Everybody who came in.
Okay, so like 8 then. 8 plus the bear, so 9.
And then Diddy says, "Now we add contingency, so that's 10. Double that, 20. We'll have 20 pints."
20 pints. Okay, we can get you that. It may take me a while to round up that many drinks for you. I'll bring them into you in shifts if that's okay.
That's one of them in a bowl.
I'm sorry.
I'll need 1 in a bowl.
1 in a bowl. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I'll.
Do you have any sausages, preferably uncooked?
We got a few things to eat back here. I mean, this is not like the Good Lagoose down the street, but we can get something that'll fill your belly. Yeah, let me get your drink started, and I'll come back and find what you guys want to eat. Because you want the house special, I'm assuming.
Phil's gonna nod and be like, "If he's paying for it, why not?"
And at that, she kind of screams back at the bar, "Okay, we got a full round of Nabulite coming this way." And everybody raises their beer mugs. "Nabulite! Nabulite!" And she marks herself back up to the bar and starts kind of pouring a few of them. You guys are all still kind of just standing around. I guess Diddy's sitting on the floor. I've heard you guys say anything about trying to find a seat. Is that correct?
If the beer's... Yeah. If it's that full.
Right, so
Trent finds a table. If there's someone sitting at it, he approaches them.
Yeah, there's going to be someone sitting almost every single table there. So, approach any one of them up there and they'll kind of raise the glass to you. Says, "How you doing there, mister? I don't think we met before. What's your name?"
I don't think we had. Lord Raisin.
Lord Raisin. That's just too many names, man. I'll just call you Zen. Can I call you just Zen for short?
Yeah, you can call me Zen, but mind if I steal this chair?
You got a big group there, it looks like. Why don't I give you more than a chair here? He kind of nods over to the buddy next to him and says, We're about ready to head back to work anyway. So you see both of them kind of slam their drinks down and put the glasses down on the table. Says, "Here, tell you what, take this spot right here, Mr. Zen. And if you ever need a little something, clockwork, whatever, just come on down to GVOTS and we'll see if we can hook you up with something."
All right, I'll be by later.
Sweet. Nice to meet you. You guys take care. So he leaves his table. He's got 3 chairs there, little gnome chairs, and a little gnome table. It's about 2 tables over from where Diddy's sitting on the floor.
So Twig just kind of sits down and goes, "I got a table, for some of us anyway."
Diddy will wander over and sit down near their table. He's sort of looking for the bear, though, and going, "That bear would be super comfy."
She doesn't like that.
No, okay. Oh, no, I mean, she can leave.
Or I would have done the same thing, because I think the same thing. But she doesn't even like it when I ride her that much. Buttercup kind of wanders over and plops down beside the table, too. Probably shoving a few tables back as she does it.
Yeah, she comes through. She's kind of like pushing people off the side. A couple tables kind of scrape across the wood floor a little bit. And a couple people look like they're getting upset. A couple of the guys just kind of get up and move as soon as the bear comes close. Says, all right, here you go. And a couple more kind of table next to you. Kind of see the bear come up and sit down. And they look at the bear and they look around the bar and they finish their 2 drinks and they start walking out as well. So now there's 2 tables there. Again, both gnome size. So you got 2 tables and probably about 6 chairs, all gnome chairs.
See, more chairs are opening up.
Excellent.
You guys look around the room again. It's mostly gnomes in there. You see a couple, looks like a couple halflings, a couple wood elves. Looks like in one corner of the table as well. Back behind the bar itself, you see another gnome, a male gnome, got vibrant pink hair, and it's in a big clogged mess. Looks like he's never combed it in his life. Long protruding mustache. He's constantly kind of pulling at it as he's talking to the barmaid a little bit and pouring all the drinks and handing them back to her. And you guys watch as Sharba, sorry, you don't know her name, the barmaid, she sticks her arms through these mugs, and she's now carrying 8 of them, 4 in each arm, back to your table, and sets them back down. And she goes, "I only get 8, but I'll be right back with 1 more pint and 1 in a bowl."
Most excellent.
Fantastic.
And she kind of drops a little parchment on the table and says, "Here's what we got for lunch. If you guys are interested, kitchen's pretty busy right now, so it might take a while, but take a look and we can talk about it more. And I'll come back with your last 2 drinks." "Thanks, friend." And she kind of walks back up there.
All right,
so this beer, if I didn't say it already, it's not like what I guess typical humans consider beer. It's kind of like got a little bit of a green hue to it, and it's got a real earthy, almost musty smell to it. But for what you guys saw, pretty much everybody in this establishment was partaking in this brew.
So it's gonna sniff it, examine it. He's mutter, "Is that dirt?" And he's gonna shrug and just throw it back anyways.
Take a sniff. It almost smells like it has a little bit of a flowery smell to it. But you want to just slam it back?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not like something you've had before. It's not bad. Not exactly the best thing you ever had before, but it's definitely cold and refreshing.
For Dragonborn.
For pretty much anybody that's thirsty.
All right.
Well, now we got a place where we can talk and sit, or at least some of us can sit. So, where are we at?
So we should tell you about who this drow lady was. Her name's Laurel Bainry, or she's one of the head house in Menso Berazan, if you've ever heard of that place before. It's a bunch of drows.
Just gonna nod and be like, never heard of it.
Yeah. Anyway, they've got a really old matron mother, or they used to. Like she was, like this and that with Loth, and so apparently one of the family members decided that she wanted to part ways, and she's the one who did the deed. I'll let let's see. I'll say so. Twig or Professor Pebblestone? I mean, I can tell the rest of the story. Do you want me to, or?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So what happened was she had a boyfriend who was a barbarian, and she wanted to keep her powers while she was in the sunlight. She realized that she'd need to leave, so she must have had a falling out with the family for some reason. Probably went against Loth. Didn't go to a lady called Elistari, who's apparently the goddess of the good drows, and decided to carve her name in the Tree of Life to give her her powers of being a drow while she was in the sunlight. So, I mean, the intention's all right, but apparently that's what the problem was. And she also wanted to have her boyfriend's name in there to calm his rage, but that would have meant the tree would have experienced rage and the darkness of the drow, I would have thought, because if she managed to carve her name in the tree, then it's impacted by her. It's like, even though you do the smallest of cuts to bark, you can sometimes poison the tree.
That is an interesting story.
Well, that's...
So, do drow melt in the sunlight?
I think legend is they're affected by it. It really hurts their eyes because they lived under the ground for such a long time, and their weapons, I've heard, fall to bits because of the strange radiation. Yeah,
I don't know much about the under. I think they call it the Underdark. I don't know much about that part of the world.
I know that Loth, and I think his name's Corellin. He's the god of the elves. They had a difference of opinion. Like Corellin was upset about something and he wanted to leave the elves, and then Loth was going to give them great power. And that's, and then she made it. Something happened, and she got darker and darker, and then slowly and surely made that it, with true chaos, she thought she'd find the way that making people as best as they could be, because everything is so dangerous and everything is so unpredictable that you have to be at your top game before you become the best of the best. And so it's a society that can work, but it's just driven on complete evil. So they're not the nicest of people, but it sounds like Lauren wanted to leave, go to the surface as one of the leading house members, which would have been killing offense, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's like, having a noble house and, going and playing with the goodies upstairs. That's going to get you a whole bunch of bad press.
So Scylla's going to break in and be like, so let me get this straight. Because some little girlie fell in tree was poisoned, and now we need to fix it. But what does that have to do with the immortal ice and the slotty? And, the impending centaur hordes?
Great questions. I don't know if she poisoned the tree. I just think she cut her name into it. So I think because the tree is life, when you do anything to it, part of you goes into it, part of it goes into you. And so there's a connection. And because it's such a powerful thing, it's all life, she must have gained in power. Apparently her boyfriend didn't gain in power. He got killed. So he didn't make it.
To be him.
Yeah, Yeah, and she probably would have thought for about 0.2 of a second how bad that was. So,
Yeah, probably. I
but
wonder.
that's
Your story's pretty complete, but I wonder if an elf could tell us more.
yeah, I'm sure. Well, there's elves here, guys. What do you know?
Oh, there are elves in the party, aren't there? Oops.
Oops.
I'll just that's why I start passing out the points. Drink up, try and remember.
Usul, anything you want to add?
I was going to say, Usul says stonily, I've never heard any of this.
But
Well,
Usul's a young druid of like 107.
I think that's what he said.
Something like that. I'll look.
So it looks like one of your dark cousins has done something to the tree. The question becomes one of how the hell did a drow find out anything about a tree that should be only known to the druids? And as you know where it is. So someone of your ilk made the mistake of telling her. Because it just makes no sense. The drow priestesses have got nothing at all to do with nature. They're about as far away from nature as you could get. They like spiders. And deceit.
And Silas is going to butt in again and be like, and once again, what does this have to do with the Slotty and the Centaur Hort?
Well, that's why we're occupying our time while we wait on them to finish building the contraption in the basement.
Yeah. Well, I've got a little answer to what your question is, Silith. It's possible that the creatures of chaos, which are the Slard, and the drow, who is also a creature of high chaos, if she was able to put her name on the tree and impact the tree, she would impact it with chaos. That would mean somewhere in the realm of chaos. Now, look, I'm spitballing this, by the way. But look, in the realm of chaos, it might have made an opening or something deformed or more power in the tree in that area, and they would have cottoned onto it because all drows well, not all, but pretty much the ones in Benzo Baranzan and especially of the House Bainry would be chaotic and of evil variety normally. So if she's gone and done that, let's just say it's chaotic evil. I believe Slards are probably either chaotic and evil or chaotic and neutral. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe they were attracted to what she did.
So you think they're working together?
Either working together or the impact of one allowed the other to gain some power. But it all then starts making sense because little openings and spew outs of the tree and some of the corruption is, the chaos that we're talking about has been felt in our land. This is with those, did you say the mutated centaurs? Centaurs are creatures of good, right? Normally centaurs were creatures of nature. They've been corrupted. So that's the tree corrupting and one of the races of the tree becoming a bit bonkers. Now, like I said, complete spitballing. I am a paladin of the ancients. I have no true idea, but it just seems to make a little bit of sense. What do you guys think?
It does seem to make sense. So we could, well, apparently we'll be traveling elsewhere in the realms. So we might want to keep our eyes open for this tree.
Yeah. And the other thing too is if you heal the tree, you can heal the centaurs. So that's one thing. And then the Slardy, they are of the realm of chaos. And we're going to go to the realm of chaos and drill to put the gem core instructor to close the gates down. So either they got the gates and they're using the tree for the gates to come into our world because the tree grows, as it says, above as it is below. Everywhere from the chaos realm, they can get in here. So if there was any way for us to find out if the Yggdrasil tree is allowing passage from the Slardy, and that's actually what the gates are, then that would be cool. We could find that out. But the worst part is we can't actually hurt the gates or hurt the tree. Oh, wait there. Maybe that's why they want the pod, because they're going to let us kill the tree to make another tree. because
It
it
does
may
make
be.
a bit of sense.
Yeah, but geez, I mean, I'm not killing the Yggdrasil tree without 100% knowing that it's going to be okay.
Well, I agree, but we also might want to consider some more practical matters. We are going to go to another realm.
Yep.
How do we travel in that realm? How do we get around? What supplies are we going to need?
That new guy is going to tell us about astral travel, isn't he?
Well, I would hope so, but normally when I travel, I have bring a small encampment with me.
Maybe there's vessels, or maybe there's animals that can travel on the astral plane, and you need to use them. I know very little. Is there a magic user here who knows what the astral plane is about? I remember going to a class, but I just can't remember much. I think they were talking like weirdness, like you can imagine a thing and it happens. But has anyone got real experience in any of the planes?
This one.
Yeah, I'm okay with this one. And the beer plane, there's the plane of beer. After we drink enough, we go there. So
yes, that's a good one, but I hear wine get you there too.
Yeah, all of them will get you there. And then the passage back apparently affects your brain, shrinks it in your skull, and then it expands it quickly. Yeah,
that's what I hear too. Nasty.
It is bad. It's all right getting there. It's bad getting back. Yeah, I'll say to any of the guys here, any of you traveled to another plane?
No, can't say that I have.
Yeah,
Sylvia says, I think my powers might have come from a plane or something. I'm not sure, but I've never actually been there.
Oh.
Well, here's another good question. I mean, we all as a group may not know this answer, but our magics work there.
And our weapons.
And our innate powers, I don't know. I mean, I could ask someone who has travelled the planes. My associates, I'm 100% sure they travel the planes a lot. So I can ask them. It's just one more thing I'm going to try and dream about. I might need somebody while I'm asleep keep going, ask about the planes.
Buttercup can help with that.
Yeah, yeah, lick me on the ear. Yeah, so as long as I've got, I mean, I'll ask them about it. They're definite plane travelers. So that's it. And do we have any prisoners here in this place that can plane travel?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah. I mean, I'll ask everyone if we know. Yeah, if there's a prisoner who's a plane traveler, we could always ask them what it's like and what you do and how you get around.
Well, hopefully our guy can fill us in, but it's something that we need to consider as a whole.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys will know that Joe Dell shared with you the fact that that Ranger Brevin is a I guess what they call a horizon walker, and he's a little bit more of a plane traveler, so to speak. Now, he didn't go in detail about if he travels all planes and knows all of them and ins and outs, but that's kind of his background. Now, as far as if there's any prisoners in here, you guys haven't heard anything about whether they've got any like slotty or plane traveling prisoners or anything like that to interrogate.
Wow. Yeah, if you could interrogate a slard. Oh. But that'll bring us in contact with them. So maybe not a good idea. There's those other races that live in the place where they live, though, isn't there? There's the Githyanki and the... Do I know the other one, the Githzerai, or no?
Give me a history or arcana check. You're trying to figure out what else lives in the same realm as the slotty? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. What else shares the place? Finding me. There we go. Now let's see if both of them get -1.
Just pick one or the other, not both of them.
Arcana and history, did you say?
Yep.
History's better. There you go.
You're not sure what else is in the room with the Slotty.
I should have stopped sleeping in that class.
Just other chaotic beings is all you can figure out.
Yeah, there's other chaos things in there. I can't remember what ones they are, but yeah, I think we wait for the guy. He seems to be good value. I'll detect and see if he's anything nasty. Because if you plane travel, there's a good chance you're eaten by a slug and change shape. And if he's 100%, then we'll go with him, and he should be able to tell us.
That sounds good. Now, since I really haven't traveled with you all that much, what does each of you bring to the table as a group, as an individual to this party? I mean, obviously, Buttercup and I bring the ability to travel, at least this plane, fairly easily, and can help you there, but what are each of your roles within this group?
Good question. Well, I have the ability to summon a horse that's celestial in nature and can appear and disappear when I wanted to. Quite smart. And I have the ability to, it could probably take one other person for a ride if that's what you mean. And sort of I bring being a tank, I suppose, to the table. I swing this sword around a lot and, make contact more often than not. I don't like killing humanoids. I tend not to do that at all, because they always deserve a second chance. But for really bad things like undead and demons and all that sort of stuff, it's my job to get rid of them.
Okay. And the rest of you?
I'm good in dark places. Me and Rufus kind of travel together all the time. I know my way around the forest, but I also know my way around locks and traps and all those handy things that go bump in the night.
Ah.
I'm great with stories.
Well, we always need a good story.
And a game of dice.
Yes, a game of dice.
Scylla's just going to be like... Oh.
Go ahead.
All right. Scylla's going to just be like, well, obviously I keep everyone alive, and he's going to point around all the people who are significantly less battered now.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm learning to use my magic powers, and I think it's going okay. And
not instilling confidence.
And I learned some medicine from one of the shaman ladies in my village. So I used to help take care of that and the animals. I know how to work with them really good. And yeah.
And Pebblestone here is his creation.
Well, my foes tend to underestimate me, so I use that to my advantage, usually from the back rank with a ranged weapon. But my construct, he'll be up there with Dittermeyer, working his beautiful majesty.
Yes.
Oh,
I can also heal. Oh.
Scylla's just going to look at Twig and be like, and what do you bring other than apparently an endless wallet?
Well, it's not endless, but I've traveled more of this land than you have, seen more of it than you have. And then there's Buttercup.
The dancing bear, right.
Yes, well, would you like to dance with her?
So it's just like, no, thank you. I'm good.
So we do have quite a few good front rank people. That's great, and I can heal Buttercup because that's one of the things I can do. Your construct, how do I make it better, or you have to do that yourself, Pepperstone? So if it gets damaged,
the construct needs to be repaired by me. It takes a special level of attention and training in order to repair my construct. But it lasts a very long time. I think you'll be surprised.
Fantastic. I just wanted to know if I use something that would heal the living would work on it, but I wouldn't.
No, I'm sorry, but it will not. I'll tell you up front. It will not work.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it looks like we're going to have to fight against the Slud, who are shape changers, and I think they do terrible things to people if they get hold of you by yourself. I'm not 100% sure. How do they reproduce?
They usually have intercourse, I believe.
Oh, I didn't think that was the case. I thought it was something more terrible. I can't remember what it is. No, they do something horrible.
Anal, perhaps.
Maybe. I go. I like your thinking. Wait, one more pint. But I think it's worse than that.
Well, that does bring a good point. We're going to be in a plane full of shape changers.
Yeah.
How do we know each other from each other?
We should mark each other's arms with permanent paint, and then that way they would never see it, and they would change their shape, but they wouldn't know that that's there.
If they change shape, that's one thing. If they don't change their mind, if they can't be the same as us in our heads, maybe just a code word and a set of touches or something that we do on the hand or something, like a code knock or something. That should be enough.
I would agree. I don't think we'd be concerned that even if they didn't know it was there, they may find a way to duplicate it. I've encountered
slightly inebriated now. Professor Pebblestone is going to suggest matching tattoos for everyone in a very private place.
Yeah, they'll never think of that. But it takes me 10 minutes to get out of my heavy armor to show it to you all the time. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it'll work, Dave.
Silas gonna give a lizardy side eye to Pebblestone and be like, maybe he's had too many to drink. But at the same time, he's gonna say, well, why don't we just have some sort of, I don't know, maybe secret code or symbol, or maybe, I don't know, we don't split up the party.
And that always works out for us.
You mean word like Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey?
I brought you here and you didn't have one of your members with you, and he shows up behind us.
I imagine if we always went around in at least pairs, we should be fine.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. And I think also knowing a code word that we can use to check would be a good thing.
Yeah, and we can always, if we want to have an extra step of security, we can ask something that we know that they should know, and that's basically it. Something really embarrassing like, have you ever just got married to someone for no reason except for money, for example?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sort of turns his head around a little bit. So I reckon we're good. And if we can find out about whatever creatures that are there that, could cause us harm, and what ways they attack, that would give us a bit more defense. Which ones of you are spellcasters?
So it says, I've been known to sling a spell or two.
Yep. So you're priest?
Trig raises his hand. I can cast some things.
In what circle are you? More of a wizardy type or more of a priesty type?
More of a nature type.
Oh, okay. All right, a bit like me. Is anyone good with those bloody fireballs? Those are great. Who does those?
I don't like fireballs. Neither does Rufus.
Diddy, you seen me do that. I did that.
Last time I encountered a fireball, it took 3 weeks for my eyebrows to grow back.
All right. Now, there is one thing that you need to know. If you stand close to me, the effects of magic are reduced, the harm that they can do to you, plus the ability for you to avoid damage is a whole lot better. So if you're within 10 feet, it's really good for your construct, for example, and for your bear.
Quora makes a side comment that he knew someone that lost far more to a fireball than eyebrows.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna look over at Tom and be like, "Oh yeah, maybe there's that little sheen on your eyebrows."
Yeah, drawing them in sucked.
Now, has any of us got the ability to travel from the plane where we're going to be back here in case of emergencies?
So it's like, can we ask Quarren to come out of a tree again? Can we all come out of trees?
This all starting to sound like a big no.
So his next question is like, why can't we just use Quarren? Like, we'll shove him in one tree and he can come out the tree of life.
Quarren's like, hey, I'm right here, man.
When we touch the tree of life, that's a big problem. That's what you don't want to do.
We can't touch it?
I probably wouldn't affect it.
How are we supposed to grab its seed pods then?
Then I think most trees drop pods. I didn't even know they come from pods, but maybe that's something that you should also keep to yourself, because the way that the Yggdrasil tree multiplies, that would be worth a lot of money to a lot of people. So just say you keep it to yourself. I didn't know myself.
So it's going to nod and be like, right.
Yeah, I remember the tree, if you touched it, could turn you into a god. So the best idea is not to, because, who wants that? And then, but whatever you did, I think it's that old adage, whatever you take from one thing, there will be a problem from the other side. So, whatever above is below type of deal. So if you took power from it, it would reduce the power somewhere else, but also it would enhance who you are. And if you've just got a mortal mind and you try and take on something that's that god terribly powerful, then it'll probably have an impact on you.
I can't move us from plane to plane, but I can't help it so that we don't leave any signs behind us that we pass through the area.
The old pass without any trace. That's a good one.
No, that having a bear around.
Yeah. Oh, I should say I can fly, and you see, sometimes I have angel wings.
So it's going to look like you can fly?
I can, yeah.
That could have been useful to know before.
I can fly, but only for a short amount of time, and only
and only when he has lots of ale.
Yep.
Just to be clear, you said ale.
Yes.
Good. Excellent. I've had a couple, so never mind.
About to attempt flying.
I do have something of interest, Diddy. Does anyone here possess a fire spell or some kind of elemental spell?
So it's gonna be like, well, I breathe fire. Oh, and I can do this, and then he's gonna he's gonna try and burn Toman's eyebrows off.
No. Right.
No.
At my amulet, please, instead.
It's party time at the pub.
Too late.
So that's not burning someone's eyebrow. That's like actually burning his face. Just so we're clear.
You know what? It's about in the right place.
Oh shit! All right, let me see a dex save from you, Tobin.
Professor B wants to get in the way.
Oh, I like that. So,
as do I. Small and a fast-moving target.
All right, so you did fail the save, but you can use your absorbing stone how you see fit. You guys watch. I'll let Dr. P explain it if you want.
You'd have to roll for damage, but it would just be absorbed.
He whispered it to me. Sorry.
By the absorbing stone.
Yeah, he whispered it to me. It's 3 radiant damage.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
3 radiant damage. Okay, so the stone kind of glows with like a bright light for a moment, and no harm is done to the eyebrows of Companion. And instead, he asked Diddy to check out his weapon for a second.
Diddy, you gonna allow that, or?
May I borrow your weapon, Sir Dittmeyer?
Did we lose Diddy?
Might be AFK or something for a second.
Here, you can use my axe, if that'll help.
Oh, perfect. Here, watch what happens when I do this. He's going to take the absorbing stone, and then with a little bit of tinkering, he's going to give that radiant energy into Twig's weapon.
I'm sure you're going into quite detail about how exactly that works and how you're supposed to use that, correct?
Silas gonna fall asleep while he's explaining.
Well, this radiant energy is now stored within your weapon, and the amount of energy stored is the same amount that was received by my stone. It will now exert itself when you use this weapon to harm your foe.
So, you transfer the energy from your rock into my axe.
Correct.
Could you do that with arrows?
I'm not exactly sure. The power of the stone with something like a small amount of weak energy like I just received, the weakest energy ever, yes, it would work out well.
Just real quick.
If we actually absorb a lot of energy, that I don't think it'd be a good use of that. I think it'd be better for a weapon that could continue to deal that damage, because there is a cap. Roughly 4 bee stings in the same spot, really deep.
Silas gonna suddenly perk up and says, "Wait, it can hold more? Give me that!" And he's gonna snatch it from Pebblestone's hand.
At this point, what have you done with the stone? Are you still holding it out there, or what are you doing with it?
He definitely does not allow it to be snatched.
I'm just wondering if you're out like showing it and you're explaining it, or did you already put it back in your pocket, or what's your intention? Where you're going through this whole explanation thing.
So the idea is that I mean it's not really said anywhere on here, but I was thinking it would be on a chain long enough, on my person to use it in this kind of manner, at arm's length, but still
like an old
attached
pocket
to
watch.
my person. Yeah, like a good old fashioned pocket watch.
Right. It doesn't necessarily have to be something where you take the stone out and have to let the whatever's hitting you hit it direct. It's more like it just creates this aura about you when you get attacked by anything elemental, it absorbs it. So you don't necessarily have to have it out in your hand for it to work like that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. If you're wanting to show any of this stuff to everybody, you're whispering all this stuff to me, right, Dr. P?
Yeah. I was actually just trying to open that one back up. The one I wanted to whisper to you is, meaning I would desperately do what I needed to do to keep that stone.
All right. So here's what I want to do. You had it out to kind of do whatever you had to do to Twig's weapon. So I'm gonna let Silith try to make like he's grabbing for it, but at disadvantage because you're going to have it like on a chain or something like that around you.
So like a sleight of hand?
No, it's not. You're not trying to hide it. You're being out in the open with it. So it's going to be like a dexterity or an acrobatics to try to snatch it. And then Professor P, you can use that thing you just shared with me to kind of prevent him from grabbing
it. At disadvantage? That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you see, so let me try it. He reaches out for it, and like Professor P kind of holds out his other hand, almost like he face palms Scylla, but his arms are too short, so he kind of like just holds up, and he like holds Scylla's hand as he's holding it out, while he's got the stone in his other hand. If that makes sense. Like reaches up and kind of shakes Scylla's hand.
So now we're holding hands.
Yeah. But you failed miserably.
So Scylla's just gonna be like, fine, try this, and just boom, boom, boom.
Oh shit! Everyone in the bar's like, oh shit! Beers go flying and everything, and
there's just fire continuously raining down on Pebblestone.
Buttercup starts growling.
Oh, perfect! This is something better for Sir Dinemeyer.
So you can choose just to fail it outright if you want, Dr. P.
Yeah, he's gonna absorb all that.
So since it's Yeah, that's how the spell says, right? No matter what, it absorbs all that, right? Or is it an action to do it? I go back and read it. Hold, please.
Sure.
Are you reading right now too, Rand?
Yeah, I got the printout right here. I have it. If anybody's curious about this character's abilities, you can go to my bio in my character. Just click on it, and all of the class abilities and stuff. This is the kind of a homebrew that Brian came up with for Mucklestones and stuff like that. It was pretty cool, so I wanted to try it out.
Yeah, for those of you that've been with the campaign long enough, this is what one of the little gnomes that was on the Swift Sparrow basically was. So I guess that basically means just Twig, and I guess Anthony might have been around those guys as well. I haven't found it yet, so I'm just going to rule that it absorbs all that until we get more familiar with it.
Yep, it retains equal to the amount of damage taken. Maximum energy stored is 16 at level 3. It increases to 30 at 6, 48 at 9th. So we're level 9 or 10, aren't we? What level are we now?
Twig's 10.
Yeah, 10. So yeah, it'd be 48.
So we're showing each other what items we have and what uses they have. Well, I'm happy to do that.
You gonna start wait on Professor P?
Yeah, you kind of missed it a little bit there, but he was letting you know that he has this ability to absorb energy and transfer it into weapons to be used on subsequent attacks. It doesn't deal a whole lot, but like a 1d4 up until that energy is used.
That's excellent.
So it's gonna be like, is it full? He's gonna ask.
Wait, what if Twig's asking this because he's a spy, and we're showing him all our strengths?
Well, I mean, everyone could be a spy. That is true. Do you want me to find out if he's one of the bad guys? Seeing we're all drunk, I suppose it doesn't matter. I'll just ask if
Buttercup's head's like going back and forth, watching you guys looking at Twig like, ah.
All right, so 1 point of clarification for Professor P. This thing does absorb it, but it doesn't keep you from taking damage. So whatever damage you take, it also takes. So all this damage you are taking right now, it doesn't absorb it.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ow, ow, ow. It's like putting your hand in the frying pot.
It absorbs the essence of it equal to the damage that you take, is the key word there in that phrase.
All right, well, that makes me second guess getting singed repeatedly.
So Pebblestone has no eyebrows and his beard's singed and his hair looks even crazier. So he's gonna stop and be like, "My bad."
Oh, so do any of us have anything very impressive that you want each other to know about that might be able to help, magical item wise? I'm happy to tell you what my stuff does. So I suppose I should start. He picks up his helmet. He pops it on Silith. He goes, "If you could read Silith's mind, you wouldn't be able to if I popped this on his head." So that's what that does.
That's no different.
Exactly. Look, before, after. So the helmet is really good. It stops psychic attacks, or it reduces them quite effectively. My armor stops really bad critical hits from hurting, and this belt that I'm wearing, if I take damage, I can bestow healing equal to that to somebody else. It's Ilmata is a god of suffering, but also healing. So that's what that one does. He just sort of looks around at his other stuff. I've got a normal magic sword, and
yeah, +1 pike too, right?
Yeah, I've got a +1 pike. Yeah, I haven't sold it yet, but it's got good reach on it, which is always nice. And what else? Yeah, I think the most important thing is the helm, especially where we're going. So you'll know that things can't go into my mind. I don't know if that stops that. There's a spell I've heard people talk about, messaging. I don't know if it stops it. It might. So, but I think the main thing is it's effective against psychic attacks. I got a talking doll. That we've all got one of those. And a stone that when I spin it around, it helps me be stealthier in this armor that I've got. This really good armor. That's it for me.
I don't have much in the way of weapons, Buttercup, but well, he looks down at the cloak he's been wearing. It's always been a nice cloak, and you guys just watch as it shifts colors and changes shape and length to a wholly different appearance. Kind of helps you get out of places. And then he taps his forehead, and you all notice really for the first time because it's kind of like hidden in his hair. He's wearing a little circlet around the top of his head. Well, and some things make me a bit smarter.
All right. So if anybody sees those, if they fall off, we pick them up and get them back to you. Okay, gotcha. Does the cloak make you like blend in with your surroundings? Is that how that works?
No, it can change its appearance to, well, pretty much anything I want to.
Wow, that's great. So you can appear as a rock.
Not a rock, but I can make it appear as, say, a dark gray cloak, and at that point he actually does it shaped, and it has different modelings in it, which makes it a little bit easier to go unnoticed.
I see. Can you like put revelry on it so you look like a noble?
Well, I am a noble. And when you look at his cloak now, it's back to what he was wearing before.
So it changes all the way down to that sort of detail. That's really good.
Yes.
Circlet of smartness. Not a few people who could use that. And anything else?
Well, there's this little stone. He pulls a small stone out of his pocket. It's my lucky charm.
I should also offer the same thing that I offered the machine. If I touch the stuff if you willingly give it to me and I touch it, if it gets lost, I can try and find it for you. Would you want me to do that for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll hold on to the cloak, have a good feel, the same thing with all the other stuff, and then that's it.
You see Diddy awkwardly walking around, crunched over in this little bitty thing and touching people.
Especially I'm picturing like, you know that movie Ghost with the clay pottery scene. Yeah, that's Diddy right now.
Exactly. This is just to get to know people.
Yeah.
All right.
Twig is a little clay pot though.
So.
Now, leaving the magic stuff aside, Buttercup and I have been together for quite a few years, and, well, we fight really well together.
So you're like a team. Do you sit on him and fight like I with my horse, or?
I can. And
out of character. I'm actually using a homebrew class that Brian and I recently found. I actually have maneuvers like some other classes that the Baron and the Ranger can do together.
Oh, wow. I forgot to ask a really important question. Silith, can you bring the dead back?
Why, do you have one?
I can.
You can, yeah. And well, I just thought we'd let each other know. So for me, I can do it, but I need diamonds, and I don't know about you guys.
So it's like I kind of can do something like that, but it's kind of frowned upon out here.
Oh. Well, I can do it, but I just need diamonds. So the bear, I'm sure, can be brought back if anything happens to it. You don't mind? So I'll just ask everybody that question. If you do die, are you okay if I bring you back? Is anyone against that?
So Diddy, just out of character, just so you know that the whole resurrection thing in this realm is kind of frowned upon by most establishments as being a form of necromancy. So it's not something that is publicly talked about and or publicly offered. I mean, it's kind of done behind closed doors.
I see. All right, well, then I whisper it to them. I'll say being part angel gives me some slight benefits in regards to. But if you might have your own preference, if you don't want to, just let me know so I don't go and make a mistake.
The cost is usually too high for that. I know. I've heard of others that come. The cost is usually too high.
Well, that's true. But people of good souls or of good nature, and the word nature is it, I could normally do it.
So Quarren was going to chime in there for you, Diddy, and say, so have you actually done that before?
No, none of you have died.
Well, I think I know that, but yeah.
If you were to die, my gods have given me the power to use soul gems and connect to the plane where you're gone. Now, of course, for me, it'd have to be sort of a good place. And then I can ask you if you want to come back. And the energy in the transfer brings something from the heavens and repairs your body just a little bit to the point that it was alive. And then you go into your body. Yeah, it'll hurt like hell. But exactly you. You just, it feels like you've been hit by a freight train, apparently. But you're alive. And some people might not want to do that. You know, like if I die, then I'd be happy enough just to go to wherever I go. But in the event that something evil tries to draw out my soul or something, I'd ask you if you can bring me back. That'd be great. I'd rather go to the good spot, not the bad spot.
And Quarren's going to kind of look at you somewhat, a little bit confused, not completely, but so we don't lose anything by agreeing to be brought back, right?
Not with my way of doing it, but the cost is actually a run rather than let's say a spiritual one. It's more coming out of me rather than out of you, and I'd sort of have to promise the powers that be that I'm bringing someone back that will bring greater good into the world. Otherwise, it might impact my paladin.
Okay, this is Quarren talking. So I witnessed. Well, actually, he's here in town somewhere. One of these guys get brought back by someone of different faith, but that it was quite disturbing, and they actually took his tongue as part of the process. So yeah, it was not very enlightening.
I think the evil gods do things a different way. Mine is natural, like a god of nature. So the thought about it would be that the person hasn't had all the time that they should have to do what they were supposed to do, and their life was taken very shortly and almost unnaturally, which is a lot of the stuff that we do. So if you were to live the life of a labourer, like a farmer or a teacher or whatever it is, your life would have been different. What I do is I call on that other stream in a sense, but I also ask the gods when you're dead, you'll hear it. I'll ask. I mean, I won't tell you. I'll ask you if you want to come back. If you say no, that's no. You'll be where
I'm. Consider me in, Mr. Didemeyer.
Okay. Then I'll give you the option when the time happens. So the only thing for my stuff is that it does need soul gems, which are called diamonds, which you guys call them. And I've got enough for how much? Maybe 2, I think, bringing 2 people back, but that's about it. It costs about 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds dust. Or well, if the diamond wasn't dust, apparently it certainly is after I finish the spell. And it goes on you, and I think that's the transferal mechanism for the whole thing. I'm not the gods. I don't know how the good gods work and to do it, but I'm just the conduit because I'm of that realm.
All right, so I'm gonna say during the course of this conversation, it's probably been like a couple hours at this point, and the barmaid's gonna keep coming around and giving you guys drinks if you want them. So
Silith is hammered.
Okay. That's why I'm going with this.
So-
We're getting hammered here versus kind of not partaking.
I'm not getting that hammer, but I've been wrestling through my bag and I pull out this tiny wooden boat and I say, I have this magical item.
Shit.
And I hold it out.
Does
You have
that
a
turn
toy
into a
boat?
real boat?
Pardon?
You have a toy boat.
Yeah, it's a toy boat. It's great for bathtubs and also escaping down rivers and waterfalls or hiding under.
Why didn't you bring it to Squeaky Tinker?
I did. You just didn't see it because I had a private room. Duh.
Ah, that's right.
Did it turn into a boat in the bath? Like a big boat?
Oh,
I'm
Jackie
actually
turned
a
it?
wereboat guy. Pardon?
Did you actually activate it in the bar? Or are you just showing it in the small
I
form?
haven't. No, I haven't activated it. I'm just holding it out so
Okay.
it looks like a wood boat.
Okay.
How big is it?
So they don't know. They don't know. They just know that it's a wood boat. And they
No, no.
think
How big is it in your hand?
Probably less than like 3 inches.
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay,
small.
so Silith is. We've been sitting here for a while. Silith is gonna convince someone to eat it. This is happening.
He's gonna what?
He's gonna convince someone to eat it.
Convince someone to eat it? Eat the boat?
Eat the boat.
That's his magic boat.
Who's very drunk?
Yeah, who's been getting hammered like Silith? Anybody? Guess nobody. After you said that, no one's
Not
gonna
enough
admit to
to
it.
eat a boat.
After
I'll
the attempted burning of the eyebrows, I stopped drinking.
I'll just look at Zilla and go, you know, magical items are hard to come by. It's never a good idea to eat them. Oh, I don't think it is.
So it's gonna be like, but you could carry the boat around and no one could take it from you.
Yeah, but what happens if it grows inside your tummy?
Silith is gonna ask Sylvia, what makes the boat grow?
Oh, don't tell him, Sylvia, don't.
It doesn't grow. It shrinks. It only gets smaller.
So wait, but so it's never any good now. It's only 3 inches big.
Did he?
Well,
put
right
his
now it's
pint-
3 inches, but it goes down to an inch. And I think there's a spell called Tiny, and that's how you use it to escape. I don't know it yet, but I hope I learn it one day.
Silith's very confused about this magic boat. He had dreams and plans, and now he's just giving them up. Everything's sad. He just cries into his beer.
I'll say, so Scylla, seeing you're into it, what have you got? What sort of magical items is carrying?
There's no telling if it will shrink on the plane. It could be handy.
Could be.
To get 1
And
inch
with
away?
that, I sort of like put it in the bag.
Silith's gonna flip on his sweet shades, his dark vision goggles. Be like, I got these sweet little babies, and lets me see in the dark. And then he's gonna activate his belt of speed, and that gives him a bonus action. It shows off in one of the little yellow gems on it.
Oh, you activate it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let me explain what's going on, because Silith is hammered. So he's talking about his glasses, and he's got like one of the guy goes over one eye, the other like on top of his head as he puts it on, and he activates his belt, and he runs about 2 feet and falls over a chair, then keeps rolling, and he hops back up, and then he runs into another table and falls over, and people are just kind of exiting the restaurant at this point, trying to get out of the way of the Dragonborn.
But then he's gonna have to whip out his staff, and
Hey now.
He's gonna swing that wildly around and just be like, oh hey, I got this. It hits real hard.
It starts crashing into the tables and breaks a few glasses. At this point, both the guy behind the bar, little gnome, and the barmaid come like, hey, just calm down, and you hear a whistle, and there's another gnome comes out from the back, kind of rubbing some dishes down and everything. Says, oh shit. Says, just calm down. We don't want any trouble, and I'm cutting you off, mister.
So it's gonna put the staff away and be like, oh, and I got this. And just swing his mace of storms.
God damn it! But this other guy comes over the bar and says, damn it, okay, that's it. You're out. Don't make me go get don't make me get the overseer. You're out, mister.
As Sil's getting pushed out, he's gonna, but I didn't show them my stick. He's referring to his wand of binding.
You're gone. You're out of here. They kind of escort you out, and the rest of you guys standing there looking at a pretty much disheveled and kind of destroyed half of the inside of the bar area. At this
So,
point,
Counselor
there's
Dittimar, I don't think this went as we planned.
it's like maybe 5 or 6
Sylvia
patrons
feels
left in the
bad.
bar. Go ahead.
Sylvia feels bad and starts casting mending on any of the furniture and stuff that can possibly be prepared with a mending.
You can see the barmaid's the first one to notice that, and she kind of looks at you somewhat. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And she's kind of lifting up a table as it's kind of you're mending itself as she puts it back up there. Says, "Oh, no one's ever done that for us before. Thank you, friend."
No problem. Your service was great. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, just don't bring your friend back, okay? We don't need this kind of stuff in here.
Oh, I
Does he
wouldn't
ma-
say he's necessarily my friend. He's more of a traveling companion. I whisper to her.
Is there a way to mend the scorch marks on the floor around Pebblestone?
I wave my hand over his eyebrow region.
You can see like his eyebrows are almost like twitching, but you don't see any hair growing.
And I go, I guess I can't relieve your conscience of this, Silith.
Silith's outside. He doesn't hear anything.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
I would like to ask I would like to ask the bartender lady, or the waitress, sorry, if she knows of anywhere where someone can go where someone can do some gambling that's not fight or NASCAR related in this.
She goes, well, there's not really a. I'm sure you can get in a game of cards down at the guild hall, the Cavers Guild. They always seem to be running some card games or dice games down there. But everybody bets on the UFC fight, so it'll probably be some couple of lines there at the Cavers Guild. Hell, we got a couple here at the bar as well. You can make some wagers. But if you're looking for a card or dice game, probably back down to the Cavers Guild.
The Gamers Guild?
Cavers Guild. Let me type it for you. And Dr. P would have pointed that out to you guys. Let me ping it on the map here for you guys. This building right here. That's kind of like the front office, these two buildings here. Of back behind here is where the mines, where the gnomes go down. Oh, I'm on the GM layer. You can't even see where I'm pinging, can you?
I pinged it, the Cavers
Okay.
Guild at least.
Okay, yeah, it's right in here. These two buildings here for them.
I say thank you, and I slip her like 5 silver pieces.
Woo, thank you. You don't have to pay me for this. Here, she hands it back to you. You fixed enough here. You fixed the chairs. You fixed the tables.
No, keep it to make up for the scaly folk.
Look, I appreciate that. I'll split it with the rest of the folks here.
Thank you.
So I suppose it's gotten to the most important part of the night, and that is, Usul, are you able to tell us where the actual tree is? Or you're not allowed to?
Who are you asking?
Usul, if he's there.
He says, be right back. Usul, you there?
So while that's happening, before he does, or while we're waiting for Usul to return, I would also like to bring up with the table the fact that some miners have gone missing quite frequently. I don't know if anyone else heard that in the rumors at the bar.
Miners have gone missing?
Yes. While you guys were busy patting each other's on the back so hard you probably broke your spine, there was.
Yeah, the rumors you heard were kind of mixed. It was like, miners didn't show up after their shift. Some people say they just left town. Some people say that they probably died in the mines. There's, no one's really known for sure.
Could be some bad guys down there.
Or it could be this life tree putting roots through that's corrupting the mind.
Maybe we should go in.
I think if we know where the physical location of that tree is on the prime material plane, that'd be good, allowing us to pass through it. But that'd get us from the bad place to here as a possible additional way of moving. Like you said, you saw, was it Corum moving through the trees, getting from one place to the other?
All you saw was Quarren. Well, you didn't know, didn't see it. I mean, all you heard was that he came out of a tree there in Injast when you guys all thought he was dead, including himself.
So part of him. Do we know how he actually got back? Was it the little green fellows that did it to him, or was it? Because he's there, isn't he? I'll say, buddy, do you remember how did that happen? Did the little green guys fix you and then put you in the tree, and you move through the tree construction to here?
He'll share with you again the story of how when he blacked out in the Immortal Caverns and was approached by this large animalistic creature, whatever, that basically came up to him and embraced him. And he said, and that's when everything went black again, and then he awoke walking out of that tree in Injast. He says he didn't remember anything between those two, so it's still kind of a mystery to him. He assumed
so
that what he saw was God.
Yeah, and Sylvanas is your god, I'll ask him.
Yes, Sylvanas is his chosen god.
Wow. So he embraced you, and I mean, you should be 100% sure about that sort of thing. Did that feel like what happened? You're 100% sure it was him? In your heart. I don't mean as in he wrote you a letter, but.
And he said, to the best of my knowledge, it was her. I don't know why it would be anybody else, and it felt calming, and I felt at peace with it, and I came out better than when I left.
So she brought you back for the good that you could do. So that's what I mean by the way, guys. It's the same sort of thing as what I can do. But I need diamonds. I can't just hug you and make it happen. The other one, so the little green guys, where did they come in to the whole story? Who knows of them? Was that more from Usul, or was that more from...
Nobody was able to determine what those green guys were, except that Scylla said they were some kind of green elemental, to which almost everybody believed. Because of his high-ass persuasion check.
Who was the one who originally saw them? Who was the one who gets them in their head? These green guys. Did we physically see them?
Quarren saw them in his vision.
Oh, okay. So they're the other parts. Okay. So they may be good, they may be bad, but they weren't part of the resurrection story. They were something else.
Yeah, that was a vision he had after he was resurrected. He saw the Immortal Cavern from... He assumed it was eons ago because the ice monsters weren't there anymore. It was a cool, clear crystal lake, and these trees are all surrounding the edges of it, with these green guys tending to them.
Oh, and then there was the flip of the poles, wasn't there?
The flip of the poles. What do you mean?
Yeah, that turned heat into cold and cold into heat. So, okay, did that happen about 200 years ago?
I'm going to ballpark this. I think it's more like around 800 or 900 years ago.
Oh, okay. So it's not when the drow did her thing.
No.
Okay. So was there any impact on the world when she did what she did? Was there any, besides, and things like the centaurs, was it around the same time? When
Centaurs have been around forever, so there would have been centaurs then.
Yeah, when did they go berserk crazy? 200 years ago or 800 years ago?
Oh, that's been more recent. That's within the past 2 or 3 months. You've heard stories.
Okay, and the Slarty incursions have only been recent as well?
That you're not sure about. I think it was Joe Dell that kind of told you guys that the two are somehow tied to each other.
Okay, so we've got nothing recent tree experience except for the resurrection and him coming through the tree, but that doesn't necessarily mean Yggdrasil. It could just be tree travel. Okay. There's lots of different things happening at the same time then, I think. But it'd be good to work out which ones are linked. Yeah. So much to think about tonight. Okay. Where do you guys want to go next?
What was the question you had for Usul? He's back now. Did he?
So Usul,
the cleavers.
The green guys in your vision. What did that feel like? Oh, Corin, for Corin Vision. Did you get anything about them? And the other thing that I really wanted to find out is, you know where Yggdrasil is, the actual physical embodiment of it on this plane. Are you able to tell us, or is that a bad idea?
I'll never divulge that secret.
Okay, all right, but it's a physical thing. So if we were to pass through Yggdrasil, we're going to turn up where your people are. Are they going to get angry with us?
You'll never find my people.
Okay. All right.
And it feels like he's kind of turned like evil on us, isn't he? You'll never find my people.
I'll say, so you're 100% sure that they haven't told you anything wrong, because you said it's the most wild person that gets the chance to go and find the Yggdrasil tree. They told you nothing about the why?
It was to bring a seed pod back.
Yeah, I got that, but why? Did they say why they need it?
I think you're definitely blowing this out of proportion. There's no plot. There's no danger to the tree. There is nothing. It's just an opportunity to assist the tree in growing and continuing to live.
Oh, I see. So it's like you graft it in and it's another piece of the tree. Okay. All right. And only you can find the pod, or if anyone finds the pod, can you tell us what it looks like so we can give it to you?
No one knows. And there's been, every generation they send out one of us to go and look. Some of us have returned without it. Others are still out there. Some maybe even still alive. Who knows?
And if you were to bring it back to your people, would that make you a champion of people? Or will it start something in their religion?
I believe that I would be highly regarded, yes.
Okay. All right. And have you had any dreams about what this thing looks like?
No, that was Quarren.
Okay. So Quarren, what did you dream the pod looks like?
He didn't see a pod. All he saw was the cavern with these trees around it and these little green men tending to it.
Little green men.
Could that be a little baby Yggdrasil tree or something? Or at least a branch of it?
Quarren just kind of shrugs. Says, I didn't know what they were until Usul shared that it was his fabled tree that he's looking for.
What ended up there, though, was a monstrosity that went ape and killed everything and absorbed it into it because of the great pain and suffering that went on there. But are we saying beyond all of that, the thing that might have given it its power, I mean, this is a huge jump, is that there might have been part of the tree of life there? That's the celestial part of the curse that's in your blood?
Quarren just kind of shrugs. Says, this is all beyond me. I have no idea.
I'm spitballing myself. So maybe there's something really important back in the cavern, history-wise anyway. Maybe we should go back and have a look. We might have left something we shouldn't have there.
In the Immortal Caverns?
Yeah, where you died, where the creatures tend to the tree, at least there'll be, like, worst case scenario, a hole in the ground, or maybe a bit of it, or something, like, even if it's dead.
Not for nothing, but you just said where you died. I'm not really keen on going back to some place where somebody died. I just don't feel.
I know what you mean. But it's
Quarren will kind of agree with Dr. Peters. Listen, I already died once there. Says Jodell's got us on a mission. We know what our next task has got to be. We can't falter from that, right?
Yeah, right. No, that's okay. Understood. I just wanted to know the vision that came to you was in the Immortal Caverns before all the bad things happened. There was a tree tended by the green guys, and for some reason you think that it might have something to do with Yggdrasil looking for his pod.
Just
I'm not
because
interested.
Usul said that the way I described it, it sounded like his tree he was looking for. I have no idea if it was in the past or it was in the future or if it was, a false dream. I don't know.
Okay, so your deity is Sylvanas. Usul, who's yours?
Sylvanas.
Oh, okay, 2-for-1 deal. All right, well, that's the only link you've got. So if you can find a more powerful Sylvanas priest around, maybe they can commune with nature and find out for you.
Corn just kind of shrugs again.
I think the 2 druids that are in the keep might have that power.
Well, perhaps we can ask him then.
Yeah. See, you get something out of all these pints.
Alright, so the barmaid's gonna come around with your tab. Kind of look around. Okay, guys. I see some of you guys have already left. Someone's got to pay for the Dragonborn stuff here as well. Who's settling up this bill?
I suppose I made the original order. So how much is it?
Okay, you guys were there for a couple hours. Sil's the only one that got hammered. The rest of you guys are kind of casually drinking. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
We'll call it 6 gold and we'll be good.
Okay. He gives a 6 gold. He gives a 6 gold and 6 silver. That means he does 79 there and silver.
Carry the 3.
There we go. I'll just take it off the character sheet. There you go.
Break the gold piece in half.
This part goes to my god. Throw it up in the air. If he keeps it, he can have it. If it doesn't, then it comes back down into my hand. Oh, there you go. I keep it. Oh, we go.
She takes your money and kind of going around the other table, starts wiping them off, wiping them down. There's only about 2 or 3 patrons left in the actual bar restaurant right now.
So is everyone stumbling outside?
Yeah, what's Sil's been doing outside this whole time? Passed out in the dirt road?
Nope. Is everyone coming outside?
Yep.
Yeah, Twig and Buttercup are coming out.
You'll see Silith leaning against the post of the cover of the town well, wiping some traces of vomit away from his mouth.
Oh, gee.
And then he makes his way back to join the group.
At least he didn't pee in it.
Anybody got purified water?
I sort of do. Let's have a look. You'll have to lower me down in there, though. Oh, wait, I haven't used my power for the day, so I might just fly down. Let's see. Oh, it's probably just a bit of sick. It's all right.
Alright, what else you guys doing?
Twig's just hanging out the group for now.
So, Professor P, are you sharing your thing you put in chat there with everybody? Or is that just
those
internal?
miners are of interest to me, but first, where is the can?
Back where we were sleeping, I think, is the nearest can.
Yeah, there was Go ahead.
Surely there's one here at the Tinkering Tankard. I'm just racking my brain trying to remember.
Yeah,
that's probably where the Tinkering.
Don't you live here?
Isn't that your house?
No, my house is down the street.
No, is this your hometown?
Yes.
Well, you should know where the can is then.
He's too drunk.
I'll lead him back
I
to his
remember now.
And he smiles. He goes, "Okay, I'm done."
Oh. Jeez.
So what are you guys doing?
Voting we return back to sleep this off, but
Yeah, exactly.
he thinks we should ride the drunk bus around to get to the Blossom Pillow.
So all we do is got fall out.
I would like to stop by the Cavers Guild on the way through to see if I can get some cards and or dice going.
So Silas like, that means we need to make 2 trips around. He's very excited about that.
Jake points at her just to walk and starts walking.
So it sounds like the party's breaking up a little bit, or splitting up. Not breaking up, splitting up. So move your token. If you're party, where's the majority of you guys going to go? Someone's going to pub, someone's going to Cavers Guild. Where's the rest of you guys going?
I was making my way back to my room, but
Oh,
I'm gonna
sorry.
ride the drinking bus. My drinking bus to get there.
Okay. Oh, the drinking bus? The drinking bus is going in opposite direction of your goodly goose.
Exactly.
Okay. So you are going to get on the pub. And you're going to be there. Okay, yeah. If you get on here, you see it's actually, traveling the other direction. Where's my pointer at? They change all this stuff around. I got to find what a pointer is. Where's the measuring tool?
It's going this way.
Yes, thank you.
And if we're gonna stop at
Measuring
the
tool's
cavers,
fourth one down, Brian.
we'll go all the way around, and then we'll stop at the cavers, and then we have to get back on and go all the way around again.
Is anyone else going to the Cavers Guild with Sylvia?
That's still a suggestion. Is Sylvia down?
I'm already heading there.
You're just gonna walk like a chump?
Yep, I'm gonna walk like a chump.
But the rest of you guys, Dr. P, Tolman, what do you guys do?
All the talk about traveling to the other plane got me thinking about the weapons. I'm curious about trying to find something shop where I could discuss what I may need for that trip.
For weapons?
Correct. If I need anything special.
Again, you already, I guess technically you weren't here player-wise, but there's the magic shop up here. It's mundane kind of magic things, nothing really like weapons. There is a blacksmith shop here.
I guess I'll go to the blacksmith because I don't have any type of magical weapons. I'm not sure if those are going to be required or not. So I'm going to seek out somebody who would have at least some kind of knowledge.
Okay. All right. So if you're going to go to the blacksmith shop, move your token to right there. I'm just trying to get a lay of the land of where everybody's going here and figure out how I'm going to handle this. Okay, Diddy, where are you going?
Go to the gem. I'll go to the gemsmith. I'm just going to try and find some more diamonds because I thought, oh, wait, I've only got enough for a couple of deaths. We're going to see the slard, so I might need a few more.
Okay, so you're going to the gem cutters. Who was that leave? Twig, you're going back to the hotel? Or the inn?
Yes.
Okay. And Sylvia's going to Cavers Guild. Usul, where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm going to trail after Diddy.
So you're going to gem cutters with Diddy?
Yep.
Okay. Who'd I miss then? Is that everybody? Everybody's got a place to go? Something to do? Alright, so let me work my way up the street here then. Let's start off with Tolman in the blacksmith shop. So, one second, let me switch different layer. Alright, so you start walking up this this building. It looks like it's actually got a normal sized door on it, not a gnome sized door. And you walk inside and you actually see there's two halflings sitting there over a big anvil, kind of taking turns clanging on a big sword or a big some kind of a weapon. Introduce you, kept walking up. Their names Delbo and Adalo, Burrowfoot, halflings. One's a chiseled young male, dark black curls. That's Delbo. The female introduces herself as Adalo. She's a stout, light brown, curly hair, tucked under a tightly drawn little wool hairnet thing. They look around. It's kind of more of a plain-looking shop. You can see all kinds of weapons and stuff along the wall, some armor and whatnot. They greet you coming in. Come on in. What can we do for you today? As they continue to kind of hammer on their weapon they're working on.
Oh, hello. Looking for some advice for equipment. Been engaged to travel to the Chaos Plane. I'm not quite sure I'm going to be outfitted properly, so I'm hoping that you could lend some insight.
Going to the Chaos Plane? Holy shit, mister.
Party. Everyone's going, just...
Yeah, we've been seeing the influx of refugees here from Injas. Is that where the trouble's originating from?
I really couldn't tell you. I'm just kind of along for the ride. No, and this is Rufus. I hope you don't mind. He tags along everywhere I go, and I kind of scratch the old dog's.
Nah, it's perfectly fine. Don't worry about him. You can see we're not exactly the well-established place here, and see him kind of wipe his brow of the sweat and kind of sling it up in the corner. All right, so you want to get equipped with some hardy weapons, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I typically use hand crossbow and a rapier, but I don't have anything of special quality, as you may say, and I'm not quite sure what I may need to defend self and friend in that place.
Says, well, we got, it depends on what you're looking for, and the fact that you're a little fellow, you come to the right spot. We got lots of stuff that is kind of designed for the smaller folks, like ourselves here. Now, I will tell you that we don't really dabble in anything that's magical per se. We got some pretty nice weapons here that could probably offer you a little bit better than the average weapon there, but unfortunately, it's not going to have any kind of magical properties.
No worries. Again, I've never headed into the plains before, so I'm not sure if it requires special materials such as mithril or silver or even magical properties in order to be able to be effective. So that's where I was kind of looking for some guidance.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you, mister. We've never been to the Chaos Plane either, so we're not sure exactly how to point you in the right direction. But if you need a sharp blade, I can make you one. You need a little shield just your size, I can make you one. You need a helmet that fits your noggin, we can hook you up.
Well, thank you for your honesty, sir, and I'm sure I'll be returning. I definitely need to find out some more information before I start purchasing now. Thank you and good day.
All right, we'll see you again back here at half and half. They go back to pounding on their little weapons. That's it for you, Tolman?
Yeah, and I'll head out towards, because I know they were headed for the guild hall of the other group, so I'll head over that direction.
Okay. All right, so before you get there, let's go over to Sylvia. So, Sylvia, your intention was to head to the Cavers Guild because that's what, I forget, was that what the barmaid shared with you? Did you hear that from the rumors? I forget what you got your
Yeah, that's from the barmaid.
Okay. All right, because you're looking for a place to gamble. Is that what started that?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right, so as you walk up, again, you remember from Dr. P walking back that the building on the north side here, we'll switch back to the right friggin' layer, Brian. This building on the north side is more of like the bar, the guild, where everyone kind of meets and greets and drinks. This is more of like the business portion of it, where they'll sell some of the wares and stuff they get out of the mine. That's like the supplies and the storeroom. But this is probably where you want to go based on that description if you want to get some gambling involved there. So I'm assuming that's where you want to go, right?
To go. Yeah, I would like to go that way. Is there anything interesting in terms of provisions that they have in the store?
You going in the store first then, or are you going to the actual guild hall first?
I'll go to the store first and then the guild hall.
Okay. Go read my notes, make sure I got something going on here. Alright, another plain looking store up there. The front of it just says something like the Cavers Guild front store. You walk in, you see this short little male gnome, shorter than most gnomes. Got vibrant, white, slick back hair under a top hat. And this top hat is like grossly large. It's almost as tall as he is. He's wearing it. He's got a monocle in one eye, and he kind of looks up from you from looking inside a journal at the front counter there. He says, "Yes, what can I help you with today, ma'am?"
I was just wondering what you guys have. Maybe you found something interesting in the caves.
I hardly see anything we find in the caves is interesting. Most of the stuff we get is of the rough nature, and we have a partnership with the gym cutters across the street to kind of hone them down to something more presentable for someone like yourself. But we deal mostly in the raw ores, the uncut gems and whatnot that we find down the mines down there. What might you be in the market for?
Oh, I don't know. Do you have any interesting artifacts or anything that came up from down there?
Artifacts? No, I'm afraid you have a misunderstanding of what our actual mines do here. We basically supply the ore and the coal and different things that Tinkering Academy needs. That's our main bread and butter here. But we have a few veins of the more precious type. But again, we have a partnership with our gem cutters. But be welcome to sell you some uncut stuff here if you got here. But nothing of the outlandish or out of artifact standpoint. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I just thought maybe you had, you guys found something that wasn't quite, within the regular stuff of the mine. But I guess if not, I'll go. I heard there's some dice or cards in the guild hall. Is that true?
And he kind of listens to your whole story and says, "What about? Have you heard something about them finding something in the mines?"
I haven't heard anything, but I've heard there's been some strange disappearances there.
Oh yes. Those rumors abound about supposedly people going missing. If you ask me, it's just people that can't hack it, and they work one day and then take off the next. We get the transient gnomes from the nearby forest that think they can come in here and become a miner overnight, and blah blah blah. I think it's a whole lot of talk about nothing, if you ask me. But no, it's nothing to worry about. I'm not worried. And what was your other question? I'm sorry.
Well, I heard there was some cards or dice that happen in the hall. Is that the one just sort of across the street?
Yes, that's what the hooligans across the street. That's the guild halls where you find your card games, your dice game. Just be careful over there. They can be a little bit of a rough bunch, if you know what I mean over there. The wise cracks will definitely come. Well, maybe not your way, but yeah, they'll probably still come your way. But just be careful of yourself. They. Well, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just said you sighed when I mentioned it. Is there something I should be concerned about?
No, they just tend to be a little bit more on the rowdy side, and they not quite as accepting of folks of the more finer tastes like myself, So they tend to make unnecessary comments back and forth, but it's fine. I've grown thick skin. We're okay.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know, and I'm going to go check it out. You don't happen to have any raw, unprocessed diamond that hasn't gone to the gem cutters yet, do you?
Well, of course. We typically have an excess. We have more than gem cutters can keep track of, but I'm sure with we got some in back. Would you be interested in buying some uncut diamonds?
Possibly. I mean, are they? I mean, obviously they're more cost effective than ones that have been cut and polished.
Yeah, they're equally as ugly, but yeah, typically half price of what you would pay from the gem cutter.
Oh, well, I mean, I know someone who might be interested, but I'm not too interested at the moment. I'll tell you what, if when I see my friend again, I'll let him know to come by.
Okay, very well.
Sorry, what was your name?
Freppin Buckstep.
Freppin Buckstep. I'll let him know to ask for the date.
Excuse me. It's Freppin Buckstep. I'll have you know.
Oh, frig. Sorry, I should have Frebbin.
He starts writing it out on the piece of paper next to Freppin Buckstep.
Frebbin Buckstep. Okay, I take the paper and I'm like, I'll just give this to him so I sent him. Make sure to give him a good deal. He's a really nice fellow. A little big for your shop. He might not fit in. But he's good.
Excuse me, I gotta take this call. See him hold up a little stone next to his ear? Yes, dear. No, dear. Yes, dear. No. I'll pick it up on the way home. Will you stop bugging me at work? How to turn his damn thing off?
For the
he said BRB, so his phone's there and he's not.
Okay.
If I could answer it for him, I would.
Freppin puts the stone back on the counter, and it finally stops. Sorry about that. The wife she hasn't learned yet not to call me while I'm at work. I'm sorry. So yes, what's your friend's name I should be looking for?
His name is Sir Didemeyer.
Sir Didemeyer. Sounds like a very well-established fellow with a name like that. I look forward to meeting him. Sir Didemeyer. Kind of marks it down on a piece of parchment. Sticks it in his little vest pocket. Says, very well then, I'll look forward to meeting him.
Yeah, and that's a very nice hat you have. See you.
Oh, thank you. And he kind of takes his hat and kind of runs his fingers along the edge of it, the rim of it, like he's looking at himself in the mirror. Anything else, Sylvia?
And yeah, I head to the dice and the cards.
Okay, so let me switch back over to. Got too many sheets open. Silith was on the Get Along pub, right?
Yep.
All right, so as you stagger your way up to this huge pub on wheels, I think I explained it before. It's got like varying different sizes of wheels all along it. It's actually got about 4 wheels on each side, of different sizes, and there's a. You can see there's still a pretty good crowd on there, and most of the people that are on this thing either hang off of it or inside are pretty inebriated, so you can fit right in. As a matter of fact, you take one step up, there's one of the, I guess, employees, you could say, right there. Welcome to Get Along. You know the rule. Well, maybe you don't. You look new. 2 drink minimum to get on board. So you pay up front. If you drink it, that's great. If not, well, that's your loss. That's 2 drink minimum. That'll be
drink until he makes it around.
That'll be 4 silver to get on board, mister.
It's 100 silver to a gold, right?
Are you asking him, or are you asking the DM?
No, I'm just, DM.
Oh, yes. It's 10 to 1, isn't it? 10 to 1.
It's 10. Sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking. So that'd be 2 silvers a drink, basically. I'm thinking doing the measurements here. We're looking at 12 silver, a gold, and 2 silver. Yep, he's gonna give a gold and 2 silver.
Oh, you don't have to pay me up front, mister. It's just paying me to get on. And I'll give you a token for 2 free drinks.
Can you give me a token for 6 drinks?
You want to buy that many tokens for me?
Hit me.
All right, so you're new here. Let me explain this to you. You're not just buying drinks. You're buying the access to ride on here. Once you get on board, the drinks will be a little bit cheaper than that. So if you want to pay me all that money for all these drinks, I'll take your money. But that's not how it works.
Silith is slightly drunk, but he also loves money, so he's going to accede to that and give just the 4 silver.
Okay. All right, so he takes your silver and he gives you these 2 tokens. Says to bring you up to the bar, get you 2 free drinks. After that, it's all on you. And if you're interested on the seesaws, just talk to the barmaid.
Silith thinks the seesaw sounds like a great idea.
So you kind of go onto the front, the lower section. There's a little hallway going along on one side and a couple double doors. You open up the double doors and there's several seats and bars and all kinds of music you can hear off to one side of it. Small band on one side. Looks like it's a hopping place. Got a lot of noise, a lot of chatter, a lot of conversation going all around. And right in front of you is the crap. I didn't open it up yet. 1 second. Because now I got to remember everybody's names, and I can't do that. There we go. Walk up to the main bar. First thing you notice is this fair-skinned gnome. Got white hair and glasses. You're wearing some simple clothes, but there's like several, I guess, patrons on the bar, kind of all hung around her, like they're almost like fondling for her attention, so to speak, or fighting for her attention.
Did you say fondling for her attention?
I did say fondling. I meant fighting for her attention, not fondling. I'm drunk. She's having a conversation with her. She's pouring drinks and fixing glasses and everything. The rest of it, people on the side, and on the right side is where the little band is playing. Little group in there, several tables, kind of listening and dancing. What would you like to do here?
So it's gonna look to try and hand over his tokens for his drinks.
So you make your way up to the bar. You have to kind of nudge your way in
That's my
through
way.
the
I mean,
crowd.
I'm bigger than everyone else, so like.
A couple of them kind of, they feel you kind of bumping them. They don't really look back. They look like, oh shit, and then they kind of move off to the side a little bit. Says, come on in here, big fella.
They make that noise. Whoop.
Yeah. And at that, you see the barmaid kind of turn around and look at you. Well, we don't get Dragonborn here very often, but we take everyone's money. We make no judgment. So what'll it be for you, mister?
He's gonna slap his 2 tokens down and be like, 2 of them flowery earth drinks.
Flowery earth drink. Oh, you're talking about Nabby Light, right?
The green stuff.
The green stuff. Okay, yeah, we carry that stuff as well. We got our own home brew as well, but we carry the Nabby Light as well. So he turns around and goes over to one of the tankards and pours it open, pours in the second bottle, sets it down there. So there you go, mister. Name's Forda. So if you need anything else, you just give me a shout here now. You just have to be a little bit careful of these little folk here. Not quite having someone quite of your stature in here. Just make sure you don't step on one of us, okay?
So it's just nods sage and says, I'm going to stay right here at the bar.
Good spot, mister. Good spot. So she goes back and kind of talking to some of the other patrons along the side there, unless you get her attention.
I'm gonna. How far around the town do we make it with while I'm drinking those 2 drinks?
If you recall, Dr. P told you, and you would have noticed making your approach this thing is crawling. And you're too drunk to know really how far it's going to go. and how long of time. All you know is it's going slow.
Scylla's gonna wave Forda over.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, can you make sure you push me off when we get to the what was it called again? The Blossom?
Cavers Guild? Where
No.
Sylvia went?
No. Sylvia walked. The inn. It's not the inn. It's the high class one.
Blossom the inn you guys are all staying at.
Yeah.
That was the shit. What was it called, guys? I gotta move Buttercup out of the way. The Blossom Pillow is where you guys are staying.
Blossom Pillow. That's the one.
Blossom Pillow, huh? Oh, I can do that. It's gonna be a while though. You gonna be on here? You gonna be on here the whole way?
Scylla's gonna slap down a gold coin and be like, "Will this cover me till I get there? Just keep giving me drinks."
Well, if I stretch it out, yeah, that'll get you there.
He's gonna slap down 2 more gold coins. How about this?
That might make it. But how much can you drink, mister?
Scylla's just gonna, his lizard eyes are gonna roll and is like, I have no idea.
Well, I guess we're about to find out. But as long as you're buying, I'll keep pouring, sweetheart.
All right. So good. He's gonna start drinking. This is his whole trip around.
Okay. All right. So she's gonna just keep bringing you drinks as you empty them up. And anything else you want to do while you're doing this drinking?
Nope. Sylph is gonna try to make it back to the Blossom Pillow.
Okay. You gonna have a conversation with anybody else on the
Nope.
pub, or just sit there and drink and
he's gonna sit there and drink. He doesn't really drink. He's having a good time.
Okay.
He doesn't need friends.
All right. So while he's doing that, who else made it further up the street? I think a couple of you guys went to the Gem Cutters, right? That was Diddy and Usul. Is that right, guys?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let me pull that one up. I mean, you guys are going everywhere tonight. Yep, you guys make your walk up to this one. You guys can see 2 dolls are kind of like nailed to the post next to the entrance there. You guys come a little closer and they say, "Come on in, the girls are in." There's a little bell above the door as you guys actually go in and ring the bell. You guys both going in? Usul and Diddy?
I'm following Diddy. I'm just hanging with him.
Okay. Diddy, you still there? Oh, shit, did I lose Diddy?
Diddy's phone was ringing and he never came back. He said BRB and then, he never came back.
Okay. Oh, who said? Professor P signed off. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Twig and Professor P are gone. Diddy said BRB, but he hasn't actually made it back.
Alrighty.
It was his phone that was going off and went to voicemail or whatever.
Okay. All right, so let me come back to him, assuming he shows up. No point in me going through that. You okay with that, Asul?
Yep.
Okay. And so Twig had to take off? He's not here anymore?
Twig. Yeah, Twig said he just put himself back in the inn. He went to bed.
Okay. All right, so let's go through two things. So Tolman, you're going to head over to the Cavers Guild, correct? Or are you heading somewhere else?
Correct. No, I was gonna. The group was heading over towards the guild, so that's where I was gonna follow.
Okay. All right. So while you're heading over to the guild, let me kind of go through Silas a little bit more. So Silas, you're going to be sitting there drinking for most of the night. If you're not going to have any more conversation or anything else with that, give me a Constitution save.
Woo! Oh wait, you said a save.
Yep.
That's much better than just a roll.
That was much better. So she keeps bringing you drinks, you keep slamming them back, and at this point you're starting to see two of Fortas at the bar, but you're still hanging. You haven't fallen off your stool yet. You
He's
think
gonna crack a
couple gnomes have been trying to have a conversation with you, to which you kind of slur something back and forth, but you're still holding your own. Are you kind of like looking to see where you are? Or are you just waiting for Forta to tell you when you need to get off?
I'm waiting for Forta to push me off.
Okay. All right. All right. So back to Tolman and Sylvie. You guys are heading to the Cavers Guild, correct? So let me pull that one back up here.
Yes.
Okay, you guys walk in. No dolls on this one. It's a pretty big meeting hall. Big double swing doors. You come in the front. You open it up, and there's lots of tables. Off in the corners, you can see there's a large crowd of people kind of hovered around several tables, and lots of yelling and shouting going on. Along the back side, there's another bar across there, and see several folks sitting there talking to each other and maybe having a few drinks as well. Doesn't look like a restaurant. Looks like it's just a bunch of tables and chairs, but most of the crowds are along the corners as you walk inside here. Across the back bar, you can see one individual. Got dirty orange hair, looks like a giant lion mane, basically, that encircles his whole head. And he has a matching beard of the same color. No mustache, though. You can see from this vantage point, some of the other guys around him kind of parting the seas, as he's kind of yelling towards the front of you guys, welcoming you guys in. You can see that he wears what looks like a mostly satin shirt. At the bottom button is the only button that's buttoned, so you can see like all of his chest and a part of his belly. Got loads and loads of gold chains and a big hairy chest. Says, welcome in, we got visitors. What can we do for you tonight at the Cavers Guild, my friends? Come in. And silence.
I'm just give a friendly wave and just kind of gazing around and trying to pick up on snippets of conversation to find out what could be going on here.
I'm in awe of his gold chain. I say, "Oh, that's a great gold chain that you have."
Kind of runs his fingers through the hair in his chest. Yeah. I'm kind of fond of him myself here, but some people think it's gaudy, so it's nice to see someone else that can recognize fine taste in a man, right? Just take a seat up here, Lassie, and I'll tell you all about it.
Oh no! What games do you have here?
And he's wiping on a mug over there. It says, off on the left side over here is all the card games. Got 3 different ones to choose from. Off on the right side, your typical dice games. So what do you have tonight?
Oh, I don't. Oh, that's a tough one. I guess I'll try my luck with the dice.
Well, come on over, and you see him yell at one of the patrons over there, and the guy with the little top hat, not quite, it's nowhere near the giant like the guy in the storefront. Says, come on up, Lassie, come on up. Have a seat right here. Make some room, boys. And you see him kind of slap one of the guys on the side of the head so he can get off a stool. Says, right here, and he kind of wipes it off with his dirty, grimy hands. Have a seat right here, lady. What do you have?
Oh, what great service we have.
Wow, I even heard the bar stool move. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Tolman, as you're making... Let me do something for Toman. So Toman, as you walk in, you're hearing all kinds of, back and forth banter on both sides of the room, which you have somewhat of a gambling background, so you can pick up some of the little terminology and the words being thrown around over here. That these are all games that you've heard or played before.
And when I hear the mention of dice, I quickly change direction and grab a stool or a seat right next to us. Excuse me. So
you okay, Toman?
Sorry, I missed that part. You cut out.
Sorry, when I heard the mention of dice, I looked over and noticed Sylvia is heading over to the table, so I'm going to move right up and grab a seat next to her.
Okay.
I say to Tallman, I say, have you done this before?
Oh, a couple of times with a wink and a nod.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can help me because I'm not too familiar with this. We didn't have that much gambling on the farm.
I highly recommend watching for a little while before jumping in. It could be detrimental to your point per.
So I say to the chief dice master whose table I'm sitting at, I say, do you mind if I watch a little first, just so I can get the hang of it?
Oh, sure. You're a watcher. I like it. And he kind of winks at you. Says, yeah, you can watch all you want, Lassie. Your little buddy here, too. He kind of winks at Toman as well.
I let out
I'll join in the play.
I let out a little giggle.
All right, so I have no game whatsoever set up for this thing. So here's what we're going to do. You see him kind of placing some bets on some little markings on the table over here, kind of like roulette, so to speak, about what they're going to guess what they're going to play over here. And then there's one guy at each end of the table, and they both roll dice to see what's going to happen next.
Okay. And as this is happening, I'm sort of leaning to Tillman and asking him to explain to me what's going on and like what are the specific strategies, like what are they employing here? Because I get the feeling that he's, he said he's got some experience with dice, so I want to learn as much as I can.
All right, Tillman, go ahead and explain what this game is.
Well, I take a moment to examine the game style, and I'm sure I recall seeing this once before, maybe a slight variation of another game. So you have a player at each end of the table. The people in the middle are betting on what the combined score of the two lowest dice are going to be. And then the person that's closest to that, without going over, wins the pot.
Damn, that was good. I like it.
So the key point, you really need to watch the dice stores and I lean in closer and whisper, some of them switch out dice. And then you got to be careful because everyone has their own style of play and how they throw. Some are flamboyant. It's quite entertaining. I'm sure you'll enjoy the game.
Oh, okay. That does sound interesting. Very complex. I'm glad you're here. And I sort of like give him a pat on the back, like, thank you for coming with me. And I sort of, I lean to some of the other gnomes or whoever is there betting on the game. And I'm like, oh, and when they put something down, I'm like, why did you bet that? What was your strategy here? I'm really trying to discern the information from the table.
You said you're partaking in it as well, Tillman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So decide what your bet is. They're taking bets, as low as a copper, as high as a gold.
Okay, I'm gonna watch a couple throws first, and then I'll place a silver.
Okay, so if I understood your rules right, you're betting on what the lowest score will be off of both dice, correct?
So both players throw two dice.
Yep.
They add the score of the two lowest dice, one from each hand.
Yep.
And then that's the number you're trying to.
Okay. All right. I like it. I'm sure I can work with this. So go ahead and give me a roll with your gamer's kit proficiency.
I gotta find that one.
Is it on your sheet?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Where's your sheet? See if I can help you find it. Nope, I don't see it on there. So let me add one for you real quick.
Thank you, sir.
And this is where the DM hates us.
What, you think you're gonna make all kinds of money on me? Is that what it is? So I'm gonna make this a wisdom thing. Yeah, a wisdom. And this is gonna be something that isn't this something that your character is supposed to be proficient at?
Dice, yes, it's his favorite game.
Okay, not just proficient, not like expertise, correct?
Right. I didn't take any kind of skill in it.
Okay.
That's just part of his background.
Okay. All right, so there you go. I made it a wisdom skill, so you should now see it under tools and proficiencies. On the left side, down below all your ability scores. You see it?
Hold on. Yes, I see it now.
Okay, I'm sure it's called something else. This is what I called it for now. So go ahead and give me a... I'm sorry?
I understand. It came up as gamer's kit, but that's fine.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a roll with that. Holy shit. Okay, you kind of watch them for a little bit, and you notice that they're rolling a little bit high on a pretty regular basis. So you don't pick a number that's very low. You actually pick one that's a little on the higher side of it. And they both roll, and you and about 3 other individuals were all had the same number chosen on there. So you make your money back. So whatever you bet, you just doubled it.
Okay, I'm just playing for silvers right now.
Okay, all right, cool. So you can continue to do this for a while? Or are you going to get Sylvia involved? What's your intention?
Yeah, I'm going to roll, lean over and say, see, that's how you do it. And don't go crazy with the bets. It's more for, unless you're looking to make this your income, which I don't highly recommend. It's fun to bet the silver.
I see him win, and I like clap my hands because I'm like all excited and like think this is incredible. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And I'm gonna follow his lead and put like a silver down. See what happens.
Okay.
To test the water.
Are you deciding on your own what number to bet on, or are you letting Tolman kind of decide that for you?
I'll let Tolman give me some guidance for the first one.
Okay. All right, Tolman. So you're gonna let her bet the exact same thing you are, giving her advice, or how are you doing this?
No, she wants to bet the same as me. That's fine, and she can see how it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so go and give it. Go ahead.
I'm trusting him here. Okay, go ahead.
Rolled again. This time he bid something really low. He's like got a weird feeling that they're gonna get low, and both of them roll snake eyes. And this time you two are the only ones that actually bet that bet. So you actually tripled your money. And at that you get a few cheers, a few hoorays, and you see a couple guys kind of look at both of you kind of strange. It's like, wow, that's a really odd one to win at. That's 2 in a row for these guys.
At this point, I lean over and go, we don't want to win too much.
I look at them and I say, oh, it's just beginner's luck, I'm sure. I bet if we keep playing a little bit, we're probably not going to do that good. I mean, this is crazy. And I just put a bet on like a number that I put 2 silver down on, or I put the 3 silver I just won onto the high number, like a higher number.
Basically doing a really bad bet. That's what you're saying, right?
Theoretically, yeah. I'm just like, okay, because I'm just doing the opposite of what he just advised me to do after we won for the next roll.
Okay. How about you, Tolman?
I'm going to play it straight for the next one.
Okay, so you're still trying to win. That's what I'm hearing, right, Tolman?
Yep.
Okay.
Play the game.
All right, give me another one. Okay, this time you both lose. Sylvia obviously loses, and Toman, you're off quite a bit. I mean, you really blew that one.
And that's what I
sort of
mean.
struck my
That's
shoulder
why they
too.
call it gambling and not income.
Right. So this goes on for as long as you guys want to do it. As long as you're not, winning excessively or losing excessively. I guess at losing excessively, they're not going to give a shit. But as long as you're not winning excessively, this will keep on going. Any other conversations or anything you guys are having during this, or
More of the get to know you kind of stuff. Seeing as we are just recently have gotten together group wise. Also, not necessarily sticking to the same table, encouraging Sylvia to try other games and look at other things. And just, I'm kind of in my element. This is like, I love this stuff. So I'm kind of in that whole, hey, new friend, let me teach you and show you some neat, cool stuff kind of thing. I'm giddy and bubbly and happy and bouncy and drinking and having a good time.
All right. So
Absolutely. Minus the drinking part, I'm totally letting him show me and giving me the ins and outs of what's going on here.
Okay. All right. So I'll come back to you guys about what you guys get from just general chit chat and roaming around everything. But I want Silith give me another Constitution check.
I was waiting for that. Hit me. Ooh, ooh.
She brings you up another one. At least you think it's another one, and you kind of pick up the mug like you're trying to put it down your throat, and you accidentally pour it over top of your head. And it's some more conversation back and forth, more known, but you don't understand one single word they're saying. You feel your head kind of swimming, turning around a little bit, and you think you ordered another beer, but you're not doing so well, Silith.
How far have I made it?
Are you trying to look outside to see if you can determine where you are?
Sure.
Okay, give me a perception check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage. Because I was always real good at this anyways.
Oh, damn! You actually did roll pretty good. All right, so 1 second. Let me get back to the map here. And the map. Got to move your token so I can get to the pub.
Sorry. There.
All right.
That's my favorite Dora song.
So you look outside.
Swiping, no swiping.
And you see what looks like the herbal shop that you guys have went to earlier in the day.
How many drinks have I consumed?
Give me a give me an intelligence check with disadvantage. You have no idea how many drinks you've had.
But they were delicious, weren't they?
Yes, they were. And your head's all wet for some reason. You must be sweating.
Must be sweating. All right, I still got money on the bar?
Hey, you paid her like up front, didn't you?
Yep, let it ride.
Okay.
Silith is now smelling like flowery, earthy beer, and he's Forda's there, and he's like, I can barely afford this. And then he's gonna slump into his next drink.
All right, good enough. Just real quick, Usul, are you back yet? Not Usul. Diddy?
Diddy.
He's still not back. All right, so Usul, you mean run through with you with Diddy? Or how do you want to do that?
Say again?
You mean go through with you and the Jim Cutters thing with Diddy, or is that you're just more like following him?
Yeah, I'm just following him. I don't have any agenda. Just just following.
Okay. All right. So Silith's over getting drunk. Let's go back over to Sylvia and Toman. As you get night goes on, you guys are gambling more and more. I don't know how long you plan on staying here, but you learn a few things about some of the folks here. The guy that likes to show off his chest hair and all his jewelry, his name is Photius Undermound. He's basically like the guild master here. I'll put his name in the chat if you care. Not cut. I want to copy. So that's the elaborate little gnome with the red mane lion hair around his head, no mustache. He's kind of runs the things here. He's a retired miner, and since then he's kind of taken up this role as the guild master here. Loud, obnoxious, but most of the guys say he's still got a pretty good heart. He's not just his necklace, but he's always got all kinds of rings and earrings and all kinds of jewelry all over the place from his years of being a miner here within Mucklestones. You guys will also hear stories about the head foreman, a little more down to earth. He's a muscle-bound male gnome with purple mohawk, handlebar mustache, always has a short stogie of a cigar in his mouth. He looks like he plays the part of the tough and mean boss mound, but some of the folks tell you he's just a big old teddy bear. And you'll also hear the jokes that people are making about poor old Freppin across the street, and talking about how he's a snooty little shit and never worked a day in his life, and his fingernails have never seen dirt, and just they're all talking like he's a little snooty, and nobody really likes him, and they make all kinds of jokes about his hat size and how it compensates for other things on him that should be a lot bigger, but they're not, and just on and on. You hear all the jokes about those folks. And you do hear the other rumors talking about, miners not showing up, and so the same thing as at the bar. Some of the miners will say along the lines that they just couldn't hack it, they decided to leave. Other folks say it's probably just people making rumors so that other people don't try to become miners, and some of them are okay with that because they'd rather have the money for themselves. And just hear the banter back and forth, and hard to determine whether or not the missing miners are anything serious, or it really is people just disappearing.
Okay.
You were talk about some veins within the mine provide more than just ores. Like Freppin kind of told you, there are some that have some pretty precious minerals. They do keep those kind of under lock, so to speak. There are various parts of the mines that are, kept under lock and key. So certain people just have free reign to go in there and find what they want and pocket stuff on after hours. So it's a little bit more regimented, so to speak, as far as miners going in, miners coming out, keeping track of everybody. But just like anything else, it's hard to keep track of so many people going in and out.
True.
Okay. Any specific questions you would dig a little deeper on any of those?
I would like to know where these what are these special minerals that are found in in these lockdown areas?
It's more the pricier stuff, like your diamonds. You're gonna find some rubies and sapphire veins, stuff like that.
Okay, but it's not like there's something that's super weird or indicative of magical forces affecting the natural elements.
Now, you don't hear any talk or rumors about any kind of magic things down in there, no.
Have they found any ancient art? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I say that there's nothing magical, but they will tell you about some of the contraptions and stuff they use to kind of help them dig, more of the tinkering stuff, and how out back is where the main, they call it the vertilator, that basically lowers and raises the miners and their goods each day. So there's all kinds of little tinkering contraptions to kind of help them along the way, but that's the only thing that kind of borderlines on magical that you've heard.
And have they found any artifacts? Anything from old civilizations or buried stuff like that?
You'll ask around enough, and you'll be there for at least a couple hours. You'll hear a couple people talk about how they found some old bones and stuff down there, but nothing like an ancient weapon or some kind of a magical thing. It's more just like guys telling wives' tales about, I found a dinosaur bone down there. I found a Tarrasque tooth. All kinds of outlandish shit like that.
Okay. And, obviously as I'm making the rounds and asking things, I'm being friendly with people, trying to suss out, watching the card games, seeing if I notice anyone who's extra shifty, and, if there's tables that maybe are a bit more honest.
Okay. Give me a perception check then, please.
Okay. Tallman, are you helping me with eyeing the tables? That would give me
Oh, most definitely. Traveling together and checking it all out.
Do we get advantage on that, or?
No, not advantage. Because what are you doing to get yourself advantage?
Well, like we're sort of watching the table stuff, and we're exchanging notes and things like that.
Okay. Go give me a roll.
Okay. I'll whisper it to you.
That chuckle usually is bad, so I'm a little worried.
All right, so Sylvia, you're walking around and you just seem to get distracted by these little guys kind of walk around, almost like some of them are kind of trying to look up your dress, or get a little too close, so they're rubbing up against you. You're just getting really distracted by all these gnomes all around you, and you just can't quite focus on what you're looking for. Toma, as you're making your rounds, you see several of them partaking in something that you've probably done a few times in your life as well.
Relieving folks of their purses?
No, not that. Just the way they're rolling their dice, or how lucky they get about a certain card showing up when it probably shouldn't have.
Okay. Nope. Basically, my warnings to Sylvia earlier. So what I'm going to actually do is quietly point it out to her so that she can see it and hopefully see it for herself.
You're saying this out loud to her? Or whispering it?
Whispering to her, saying, do the wave, like come down, and then I don't point. I say, look over at the table, the guy with the green shirt with the garish yellow stripes. Watch how his hands move as he's dealing the cards. Watch real close.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand if you're trying to point this out and not get caught with it. All right, so he's over talking to you. I mean, like he's kind of almost like he's taking your hand, like he's holding it, but he's really kind of using your hand to kind of point in the direction he wants you to look. And he looks straight at you, but he kind of gives you direction as to where to look and walks you through this. And you see the same thing. You almost see like this guy had two cards. One of them disappeared for a second, and a new one took its place.
Okay. So I'm getting the run, and I go who? I go to him and I sort of whisper. I'm like, who looks like they're really into gambling? Which of the people here looks like they're, we can sort of push them a bit and maybe win some gold, because I liked when we got triple silver before.
Yeah, but this is their livelihood, and it can be deadly to be found out.
Okay.
Deadly.
So I'm gonna sit down at a table. I didn't like that dice game specifically too much. Seemed like a lot of dice throwing, lip flap, and that kind of thing. I asked him, what's another good table game to go play?
You're asking that of who?
Toman.
Okay.
Oh, cards. Cards is always a fun game, and there's so many different variations of it. We might find something that neither of us have ever seen.
Oh, I definitely want to find something that you know.
Okay, well, we can take a look around and see what we can see. Dice is more my forte, but I have my hands in cards.
Are there other dice games here that you're familiar with?
Yeah, you're pretty much familiar with all of them that's being played here, Toman. Nothing new here to you.
Yep. No, just about every game I've played, I'm seeing at one table or another.
Okay, so I'm gonna just sort of be like, what about that table, and just point at a random dice game that was in the table that we're sitting at. I'm like, does that look like a good table to play at? And I use the word lucky, I guess, so to speak.
Well, let's take a walk over and watch the game for a minute. See what we can see.
Okay.
All right, so while you guys doing that, Silith, one more Constitution.
Here we go. Hey!
Okay, that one was better. So at this point, you're not sure how many drinks you've had, but she keeps bringing them to you. You don't remember paying her. You don't remember how long ago it was she brought it. You don't know where you are. You're having a conversation with two of the people next to you. Forda now looks like three people. Matter of fact, Forda looks like she has a beard. You're not really sure what's going on there, but you are feeling good, but you haven't fallen off your chair, so good for
All right.
you. Okay, anything else you want to do while you're in this drunken stupor?
Do I have enough? I'm going to attempt to write. Please return to Blossom Pillow.
You're gonna write it?
My hand.
You're gonna write it in your hand.
Maybe my forehead. I'll get someone to write it on my forehead. I'm ask Forda to write it on my forehead.
All right.
This is going to be required.
Give me a how do I want to rule this? Another Constitution. Let's see how good you are at talking while you're drunk.
Is that a save or a Constitution?
Just a check.
It's a check. All right.
So you start talking to Forda, and she kind of looks at you. She's nodding. Yeah, okay, sugar. Yeah, okay. Okay, sugar. And she takes a ink quill. She dips it in there, and she starts writing something on your forehead. Says, there you go, sugar. There you go, just like you said.
Perfect.
You ready for another? You ready for another?
Two more.
You ready for another? You ready for another?
Is this like all the Forda saying it repeatedly?
You're not sure. You heard it like 4 times.
I'll take 2 more.
Okay. Goes back to back, comes back up, sets it in front of you. All right, sugar. I'll keep bringing them to you. Keep drinking them. Just stay in that seat right there. You'll be good. So
I'm gonna keep drinking.
So I'm gonna assume over the course of the next year, you probably had several conversations that were probably the exact same topic, and you would have heard maybe some of the stories about the seesaw down below. So you would have heard at some point that those that are on the seesaw get free drinks. As long as they operate the seesaws, they drink for free.
Has Sylphs run out of money on the tab yet?
You keep paying, and she keeps bringing them to you.
I thought I put what was it, 3 gold on the tab?
I know you thought you did.
Oh God. All right.
All I need to know is how much money do you have, Silith? Matter of fact, I'll just look. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and look real quick.
We'll see how
okay.
much left after this.
Okay.
Yeah. Sylph is gonna make his way to the he's free drinks, and he's gonna be like, point me to the seesaw.
Okay. Give me a acrobatics. No, acrobatics or athletics. I'll give you either one. I'm at disadvantage. Let's see how you are at walking.
Hey.
Okay, not too bad. You kind of stumble a couple times and catch your balance on some of the chairs or the random gnome next to you, and you kind of
push me in the right direction.
Make your way down to the seesaws, and you can see that there's 3 sets of them down the lower deck portion of it, and all 6 seats are taken up right now. They see you come down, they go, hey! They're all like giving you cheers with their nabby lights in their hand or whatever else drinks they have. And I'm
gonna be like, hey, my navy lights, and I'm double fisting right now. And I'm gonna. Is there like a line? I'm gonna get in line. I feel like I could stand in line.
Okay.
I could double in line.
Yeah, there's several patrons kind of waiting down there. Either you can't tell if they're talking to the people on the seesaw or if they're in line or whatever. But yeah, you go stand up behind one of them, and they kind of turn around and have some kind of conversation with you, but you're not really 100% sure what they're saying. You know, if they're talking in Gnomish or if they're talking in Dwarvish, you're not sure, but it doesn't seem to make sense.
There's a 30% chance I've said something racist.
Probably so. But there's a lot of laughing going on. You can see the folks up on the seesaws kind of working their way back up and down while they're drinking.
That must be fun to look at.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of wobbling yourself. Once you kind of put your palm on the top of one of the gnome's head to kind of catch yourself before you fall over. And after about half an hour, you're watching these seesaws back and forth, and you feel yourself about to fall over. And then one of the gnomes goes up to the top of the seesaw, and then just falls off and crashes right on his face, and then doesn't move. The rest of the guys, hey, next up, and you're the next person in line to get on the seesaw.
I'm just gonna step over him and climb on.
Okay. So this goes on for as long as you want, as long as you can keep it going. But so I'll come back and have you do another check.
Let's say I told you what I'm trying to get to. Also, are you gonna move the thingy or not?
You have no idea where you are. You're now down in the basement side. There's no windows.
Great. Good. Florida's still gonna get me though, right? Right? We made a deal.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, Sill's too drunk to care. If he doesn't get thrown off, he's staying.
Okay. All right. So we've reached the 3.5 hour mark. So unless there's something specific either one of you guys want to either ask or do or talk about, I'm probably going to call it there for the night.
Oof.
Is that a yes? No?
That's a
Maybe?
Pretty productive evening.
I think it might be a good. I'll wait until we start next session.
Okay. All right. Just real quick. Diddy, you're not back, are you? Okay. We must have lost Diddy.
So
that's fine. All right.
he's
So it
still
looks
in,
like,
but he's.
as of right now, Tolman is the only... not Tolman. Twig is the only one that made it back to the hotel. So we'll see. You still there or did you take off?
I think
No, I'm
Pebblestone
still
said he was
here.
coming back too.
Okay. Again, anything specific that you would have done while you're in the gym cutters? Otherwise, we'll wait until next session and we'll pick back up with you and Diddy.
Yeah, just wait.
Okay. If there's nothing else you guys want to go over or ask questions about, then I'll go ahead and call it. Okay?
Good to go.
Yeah. Oh, my only question was, I have an amulet of spell storing. Is that the one in D&D Beyond, or
Where'd you get it at?
is there? It was one of the 3 items that when we came to this place.
Oh, you got the magic shop here?
No, it was. I think it was one of the items we got from when we first came to the other town. Sorry, and there's items left over for adventurers who are dead.
Oh. Yeah, that should be under the journal section. If you look under magic items, let me go back. Sure.
Oh, it's under there?
Yeah, it's one of the transmuter and Injas I think made for you guys. So if you look under, where'd I put it at? Magic loot.
I see it. Okay.
Yeah, under identified, amulet spell storing. So there it gives you details of that one. Okay? Alright, any other questions for tonight, guys?
I think so, right?
Okay. Pretty role-playing heavy session. I'm okay with that as long as you guys are. I've planned a couple seats there. We'll see what happens if you guys go anywhere with those. And we'll see if Silith makes his way back home.
I'll get there.
Right. Any questions, comments, complaints about tonight's session?
Not at all.
Okay, cool. All right, guys.
Make sure you get your veggies, guys.
Make sure you get what?
Your veggies.
Yeah, get your veggies.
Get your veggies.
All right, so as of right now, 2 weeks from now is looking pretty good for me as far as my schedule. That may change. So as of right now, I think I will plan on having a session in 2 weeks, but I'll let you guys know as we get closer to that. Okay?
Cool.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Great night.
Cheers.
All right. Good night, guys.
Okay, bye.